All right, so first off, we will not be talking about football. It's pretty bad when your team ties the Cincinnati Bengals and then loses to the Cleveland Browns. So I'm just not talking football probably for the rest of the year. So we'll get that right out of the way. I want to say thank you for everybody for joining this Sunday evening. I don't know where you guys are. Where I am, it's snowing, it's icy, it's cold. It is Canada. So with that said, thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Also, don't forget to follow my guests. First up, Mr. FaceTime, the legend himself. What's going on, brother?
What's going on?
Man, I'll only say one more comment, but we probably need a new quarterback.
Man.
It's getting ugly in Philly right now.
Yeah, man. We're just going to go ahead and skip that. Moving on.
And finally, last but not least, sorry, is another.
Whoa.
I know. I said that all wrong. I think it's the drink.
Too many of them already.
Last but not least, it's my Canadian neighbor, Mr. Hyper. What is going on, sir?
I was about to just leave the backstage right now after that little intro.
I know, right? Like, damn.
I was like, the least.
So much
all right.
disrespect, so quick.
I'm so sorry. Like, I'm red right now. I'm
you would have just seen an empty chair right now as soon as.
That would have been hilarious if you just switched over and you were just gone like shit.
So, it is a Sunday. Yep. I hope everybody's doing okay. I thank everybody for joining. Obviously, it's Sunday night. It's cold. It's winter, depending on where you are. So I appreciate, if you're tuning in. So it is New Comic Book Day and Spec Talk. I know everybody is pumped for that. I do want to say I mentioned this to Face. Not that it's a light or weak in books, but like it's not as heavy this week. Like I think there's like Face me talk about. I mean, there's really two really big books, and then maybe I would say Spawn, that homage to that Skyline Venom book, right? I mean,
yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's just I guess it's hard to define. Like you said, it's not light or not weak. It's just there's nothing super exciting this week. There's not. It doesn't seem to be like there's that super huge book that just gotta have it book. This week really.
Yeah,
hey man,
it's not.
Sometimes a wallet needs that.
Right. It's a nice. It's a nice little break, I guess.
Yeah. But
I'm
also
still spend a shit ton of money there.
But keep in mind, December is one of those months that has 5 weeks, so it could be a case where isn't that usually when like we get those releases in a 5-week period? They tend to spread them out a bit.
Yeah, usually over Christmas and New Year's, it's really light.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, we got a lot of things coming up, right? I mean, the Null stuff coming in December and things like that. Like it's.
Yeah. King in Black is going to be big, and then right after that, you're going to have the Phoenix event from Marvel. DC has, I don't know, DC's got some fucking wheel spinning going on. Like they have that endless winter shit that nobody cares about, and
I feel like that's their slogan. Like as soon as you go into like Warner Brothers and all that stuff, it's like DC ... something like that. Like,
right? Yeah, I mean, that's what they're doing at the moment. Wheel spinning, it seems. Like
I ran into somebody who's really hard into DC, and their argument to me was the Wonder Woman movie's coming out on HBO Max, and the Zack Snyder Justice League is going to blow everybody away. And I could only do this, just to smile and just, yeah.
So,
yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for Wonder Woman. I think it's going to be great. And I have no problem with it coming out on HBO Max and in theaters. I'll probably try and go see it in theaters. But if I can't, it's nice to have the option to be able to just check it out on HBO Max.
So how does it work? Because I don't have HBO Max. I don't have Hulu
like
either.
You just subscribe to it, and then you just go on your computer or whatever. If you have it on your TV, you can just watch
I'm gonna have to buy a 1-month membership just for the whole thing, and then probably pay like $30 or something to watch it, or is it free? Like, is it going to be like Mulan, like on Disney Plus, where it's like $30?
No, I don't think so. But I don't know. I could be wrong. They may charge. I don't know. I actually haven't encountered that yet. So this is gonna be my first experience with it.
Okay.
I hope that's not the case.
I hope so either, because like I don't that's the thing. Like, I don't want to just pay for the service for just literally that movie. Because let's face it,
Right.
after that movie, I don't think anything's coming out with how things are going, with how the shutdowns kind of reoccurring.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like the Titan season 3 is going to be coming. That's going to be on HBO Max. Doom Patrol. I think personally, I love Doom Patrol. I'm sure there's going to be more Harley Quinn animated series coming out. So
That has
HBO Max has got some stuff going on.
That has newbie written all over it. Oh man, Teen Titans season 3. So wait, what was the? Okay, we'll talk about that after, because I have some questions.
I mean, that might get you up on some DC though.
Yeah, I know. Well, remember, my goal is not DC this winter; it's Star Wars. So,
Okay, well now that's Disney Plus right there. So
yeah.
Oh, right.
Next week, on my first day off, I will be watching one movie. So I still, I'll probably have to ask you guys, but I'm still gonna have to find out in what order. I don't want to watch them from like when they first came out to now. Like, I want to watch them in order. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if you watch them when they
nah,
first
man,
came
please
out,
don't. No, please do not watch them in sequential order. Please do not do that.
Yeah.
What?
Listen,
Really? Why not?
no, do not watch them in sequential order. Okay, just start with the classic Star Wars: A New Hope. Trust me, just do it this way.
A New Hope?
But
It's the only way.
Face, you don't think that's almost kind of setting him up for like a downward slope, pretty much?
I would rather have him on that downward slope, because especially now, because we can bring him back with the Mandalorian. We can bring him back in the end. But man, you can't start somebody off with the Phantom Menace. You just can't.
I remember what that is because I was in like grade 8 when that movie came out. So I know what that is. Yeah.
Fucking Jar Jar Binks will ruin the whole shit. This will be a failed experiment to go.
All right, so I don't want to limit. I don't want to put all our emphasis on our Star Wars talk right away.
Right.
Let's get started. Let's get into our new comic book day. Before we start, let's just take a quick glance at the chat. 1, 2, thank you so much. Bash, Raider Bear, what's going on, man? Good luck against the Chiefs. Chili Monger, Canada gone, Canada. Yeah, absolutely, man. Run the comics, thank you, Luis.
Hoodrat and Luis actually know these guys from IG, so thanks for.
Yeah, I got them on there. Luis is always checking in. Hoodrat, I've seen from time to time check in. So.
He's doing his thing with Team Nerd Herd.
Yeah. So I appreciate the support. Thanks for stopping by, and get ready for some titles being mispronounced.
That's what the show's about.
I will try not to offend any Star Trek or Star Wars people, so it is what it is.
Right, let's see what fandoms we can butcher today.
Yeah.
So let's get started. Face, where do you want to start? You want to start with League, or you want to start with previews? What do you think?
Let's just go ahead and start with previews like we've been doing. Once that other site gets their stuff together and is working properly, we can break that out. But until then, we'll just stick with previews for now, I guess.
All right, sounds good. So we are going to start with Image Comics. Let me get this up for you, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. And again, it's not as heavy this week, so I will say right off the bat before we get started, we know that there is a biggie in Image Comics this week. But we're going to start off with Chew number 5. Let me just get this bigger on my end here. So we got Chew number 5.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That may be the end of the miniseries or the penultimate issue. I'm not sure if that's an ongoing or.
I thought it was supposed to be just a miniseries, just to put some light into it, and then that was it. And then maybe some crossover stuff. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure where they're going with it exactly.
Yeah. For whatever reason, though, Face, I think I have a I have the number 10 in this one, and I think that there's going to be 10. But as I'm looking over this, it says end of story arc. So I am clearly
Yeah, it could be. That it's possible that it's an ongoing and it's gonna flip into the next story arc.
mhm.
I'll say it's the conclusion, right? The first course conclusion.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? It had a lot of promise when it first came out, right? Like a lot of people were kind of like, "Oh, this could be something," kind of putting it towards Chew.
Yeah, I
But
think it's probably a decent series. It's just one that I haven't really picked up yet. So.
Yeah. Then we got. This is probably. I mean, Image has both books. I think are going to be what everybody gets this week. But we got Department of Truth number 3.
Mhm.
I don't care what anybody says. I really don't. I think this cover B for number 3 is probably the best cover so far.
Because I know you're into that all black cover.
Yeah, I love this, man. I don't know. I just love it. I love the Illuminati symbol there with the image, but that black, to me, if you can get a 9.8 in this, that is a sexy trophy to have for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And Department of Truth is, I mean, yeah, it's only 2 issues in, but both issues were great. It's already been, lined up to either be a series or a movie or something like that. Sounds like there's some A-level talent that's interested in taking part in it. And the series kind of plays as like man, I kind of hate to even try and compare it to anything else really, but like I guess kind of similar to like an X-Files type of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So, and people were definitely into X-Files back in the day.
Oh yeah, huge.
Still love it now. So
I still hear that music, and it kind of gives me that like shiver because I remember
right, exactly
when X-Files used to come on Sunday nights after like The Simpsons and all that shit.
Yeah,
my parents would be like, "All right, you got to go to bed," and I remember them watching it, but that music always scared the crap out of me going to bed, man. Like,
it's pretty iconic at this point. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Now that's just my opinion. I think a lot of people will pick up this cover A. A lot of people like that kind of. I don't know how to describe it, but just that. The shit around it kind of looks like a bullet.
Yeah, they're just out there imagery.
Yeah. Well, also, it's keeping with that consistent theme, right? Like cover A for 1 and 2 is pretty much in that same vein. So those that are already in the A covers will probably just continue on. Why break the pattern?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I grabbed both covers.
Yeah, same here.
I've been trying to grab everything that I can from Department of Truth. So
yeah,
I mean,
I think it's gonna be.
I'm totally on board for this series.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those things that's super popular. I know I shouldn't say this because, like, I kind of sometimes talk shit about it, like people who do this. But I think one day, sooner than later, it will be optioned for something.
No, it already has.
It already has.
Been.
Oh, it already has. Okay, yeah. So there you go, and that's crazy.
2 issues in, and it's already fucking optioned. That's just like, what?
Yeah.
We don't even have a whole story arc yet. They don't even know if it's good, but they're like, fuck it, we're going to go ahead and just take a chance.
Well, same thing happened to Undiscovered Country, right? Didn't it get optioned or something before the first issue came out?
I thought it was.
Yeah, I think it did, but it seems like there's more likelihood that you're going to see something move along a little faster with Department of Truth than we've seen with Undiscovered Country.
Okay. Yeah, because I haven't heard anything much from Undiscovered Country since.
Yeah, I was going to say, that kind of went down a little bit. I remember seeing the spike on that book, too. Like, there was that one, I think it was that variant one, and I think they were asking like $120, $150.
Well,
and I almost pulled the trigger on one when it was like $80, and I had some reservations about it, so I never pulled the trigger.
Also, it didn't help that that news came right before the FOC for issue 1, so pretty much everyone was aware of the news, so they were able to order the set quantities that they wanted to. Where in this case, this news has come after issue 1's already been passed. So I think right now you're looking at cover A going for like about $20 or so, $20-$25 online. And that secret variant, that secret variant where it has Lee Harvey Oswald,
Right.
That's like about, I think I saw 9.8 actually sell for like 250 Canadian.
Yeah,
I
they're
think.
definitely bringing in some good prices. And then like you look at the incentive covers, and man, that 1 in 100, the something is killing
Something is,
your children army
yeah.
is, man.
Yeah, that one's one that I regret not picking up. I also regret not picking up issue 1, and I had the chance to pick up the variants for literally like nickels, man. Like somebody was trying to sell me the variant, the red one, and then the one where it's like just her with the knife.
The freezing
Right.
cover.
Yeah, for like literally like $40 or $50, and I said, nah. I've had a really bad year. Like if I could do a regret of the year, like there's a few books in there that you guys would be
We
like,
should do a segment. We should definitely do like a segment. The regrets,
Right.
our regretful. I'm sure we all have them.
dude, I've been
Especially because somebody was telling newbie, somebody was saying to newbie at the time, hey, Department of Truth is going to be good, man.
I know. Trust me, like every time I go into a comic book store now, I always have that, that FOMO, that like regret of Thor 5. Trust me, we passed up, and if, for those of you that don't know the story, I've told it so many times, me and Key Issues passed up a stack of this. And if you know how thick comic books are, you know that there's probably about maybe 100 copies in there.
Yeah.
And Keys looked at me and he's like, hey man, what do you think? And I was like, yeah, I don't know, man, this Black Winter thing, and we walked away. Little do we know, like a week later, it was on, like raw copies are going for like $100. Even today, a 9.8 is going for like 200, 250. It's ridiculous.
Right.
See,
yeah.
my thing is, whenever I'm in that position, unless the comic is being sold at above cover price, if it's at cover price, if I'm in that predicament, I figure at least grab one, just so that, you kind of don't get that
Right.
extra.
Make sure you got it.
Yeah. No, Edwin, we haven't, but we will be going to that at the end of the show, I promise. Keys' regret of the year will be Star Wars 7. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it damn sure probably will.
I mark my words, I will get him to say, I regret not getting that book. I promise you, people, I will get him on camera saying that. I will be saying that.
Just
Keys,
like,
if you're watching, just know it's coming.
I don't know if
Just
you'll
like
get. I don't know which will happen first. If you'll get him saying that he regrets not getting it, or if he'll just cave and finally get it.
They're gone. Same
But
with
you can get them online aftermarket prices.
yeah,
But
yeah. I doubt he will. And even like what's it called? Bounty Hunters, or no, the number 6 that came out last week. Second print, the one that the crazy Star Wars people are like, no, that's the one to get, dude.
right.
You couldn't find that book on Wednesday. If you weren't one of the first people who walked in that store, you couldn't find that book anywhere. In my area, you couldn't find that book anywhere.
Yeah.
Mr. Mark, what's going on, brother? Thanks for joining.
I mean, but why wouldn't you just be one of the first people to walk in the store then?
Well, I was working 9 to 4 that day, so
no, fuck that. Get a different job.
yeah, man. I wish. Another series that's really been popping, more so beforehand. Now we're at issue 10, but issues 1 through 3 were really hot. But it's Philadelphia. Again, I think a lot of people are still sleeping on Philadelphia, to be honest with you. I've talked to a few, a handful of people who are like, I'm not into it anymore. I think that's going to be a regret later on, definitely. I do like the cover B, though. I really like this.
Scott Campbell,
Yeah, Philadelphia has been a good series. Of course, it's another one that, the important part, I guess, lately anymore with comics is it going to get optioned or, whatever. And Philadelphia definitely has potential for that. So, on that side of it,
Now, I keep hearing from certain people, and they're the type of people that don't want to be named. So, out of respect, I won't. But at the same time, I won't take credit for somebody else's work. When we share ideas, this person has said, you can talk about it, no problem. Just don't mention me. I don't want it. That's totally cool. But this person that I was talking to said, Philadelphia is something that a lot of people are sleeping on. Better get it now. when, it's kind of down, down, down. Not a lot of people are talking about it because in the new year, a year from now, a lot of people are saying that this could be something. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. Philadelphia is a pretty solid series. I think you'll see some action with it in the future, and yeah, I would absolutely be picking up the issues of it. If you don't already have them, in your
Yeah,
collection. So.
I don't mind the cover A, to be honest with you. I'm just leaning more towards the cover B.
Right.
That's just me. I've it's like Hyper said, there's always next week. It's easier on the wallet. I've kind of gone into that whole routine of like, okay, if I only like one cover, maybe I'll just get the one cover. I won't necessarily
Right.
cover A, cover B, and if there's a cover C, I'll probably just get which one. For this
Yeah.
one, I think I'm gonna have. I'm probably gonna get B because, and I only say that because this week I think I am going big on this next book.
Really?
I
Yeah,
think
that's
probably be the book of books, if not for Department of Truth #3. I think these are the two books.
yeah. I think this book is going to draw some attention. I mean, people seem to like these, Dr. Seuss homage covers,
wait.
and
Is that a foil?
I'm on board with it too. I'm
Is that a
I'm going to
foil?
get a copy for me. So
But hold on. Is that a foil cover? Or is that just a regular?
no, I believe that's a foil cover. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the LCSDs are foil covers, all
Yeah.
of them for the most part.
Now, I want to bring light to this right off the bat, okay? Anybody in the chat who doesn't believe in these books, doesn't care for these books, depending, if you don't want to read it, that's fine. If you are an investor or a collector, you should pick it up regardless. I love the art, and I'm just, I love the ice cream run. But man, this book, when the other one came out, the next day it was on the wall selling at $30.
Now
Okay.
it's like 80, 70.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
keep that in mind. I mean, if you come across it, I would say grab it. It's orange. It's a dope color to have. And I don't know, man. I love those Dr. Seuss things. I think we all do. It's part of our childhood, right?
Yeah, and the thing
Right.
is, if you already have the first print, and then they already came out with two other prints after that, the second and third, and those both had two different Dr. Seuss covers. So for the completionist, why not grab this one to kind of?
Exactly. You have to have the whole set.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. And again, if you are just trying to, because let's face it, guys, where the comic culture and the community is, like, with all the new people that are coming, a lot of people just want to flip to invest in other places.
Mm-hmm.
This is by far one of those chances that if you want to invest $5 to buy a book and then maybe make 15 to 20 right off the hop and then invest it somewhere else, this is your chance. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I'm gonna pick one and I'm gonna put it in my in my PC in the box that I don't really look at for a while. I just think that these are great books, and in the long run will probably fetch a nice thing.
Yeah, because also think about it, Dr. Seuss was kind of like, it's more of a nostalgia play also. Like guys that are in their 30s and 40s right now knew Dr. Seuss back when, they were in like those hardcover books like that, right?
Right.
So it kind of plays into nostalgia, just like those other properties, like, we've been talking about like TMNT, G.I. Joe, like those guys that were kids back then that didn't have that income. Now it's like their childhood just like, coming back.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, and I think that these LCSD local comic shop day foils, I'm not going to say that all of them are going to blow up or anything, but I definitely think that some of them do have potential to
Yeah. 100%.
get some value in the future. But so
now, I also, on the other hand, though, will say this because I always have two sides of the coin, but I will say this: I think that this is going to be everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So for the person that's thinking, oh, it's going to be low print run, not a lot of people are going to have it, I think you're wrong. I think a lot of people were looking at this book weeks ago, so this shouldn't be anything new. So don't be surprised if you haven't ordered it, or if you're just getting into the community now and you're just starting to buy books, that your shop doesn't have this or it's not on the wall, because it is very popular among people who collect and people who read. And I think a lot of people probably you know, in Hyper, you know more people than me. You know more people who buy bulk and more books, but people who order this book probably have 2-3 copies each order.
Yeah, and the thing is, you also have to, like you mentioned before, if you're not one of those guys that comes in when the shop opens, unless your store kind of manages inventory in terms of, like, let's say they don't want people to hoard. I mean, every store has their own policy. You have guys that basically will buy up the whole rack
Yeah.
of one issue. I've seen a guy basically buy up like one whole rack of Usagi Yojimbo right in front of me, and it's like, dude, do you need all that copy? But I mean, you know, people, you know, it is what it is.
Man, that reminds me when, and I don't want to bring this up because this is a sore spot. Face, you probably agree. When Venom 26 came out, I couldn't make it to the store, and there was only 2 copies left at our shop. And Keys went, and I said, Keys, you gotta get me a copy because I'm working, so I can't get there. And Keys messages me and he goes, yo, I got both copies, but people were like grilling me. They were like looking at me all evil. And I was like,
Yeah. And that's just for 2 copies.
yeah, right? So can you imagine? I remember when Death Metal came out, somebody had told me to just buy a stack of it. This person was like, man, buy like 10 or 12.
Wait, the regular cover?
Our shop wouldn't let me. Our shop would not let me. He's like, 2 copies and that's it. And I was like, okay,
Wait,
fair enough.
You're talking about cover A of issue 1?
The Dark Knight, Dark Metal, Dark Legends, the Robin King.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
The one with the ridiculously long name.
Yeah, it's like, man, just call it Death Metal 1, Robin King, done. You know what I mean? But yeah, that one. Our shop only allowed us to take 1. However, depending on, you know what I mean? Like I have a luxury, I guess you could say luxury. I've got 3 to 4 shops, you know, and some are in better places financially than others. So I know the one shop, it's like, you know, first come, first serve. He doesn't care. Mm-hmm. He just wants money. Where other established shops have the rule where it's like just 1 per, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on each individual shop. I mean, I've seen shops that, you know, like you said, have the 1 per rule on different books. My LCS actually does it too. But I've seen shops that, you know, absolutely don't have it, and you can just walk in there and pick up the stack. And actually, it's something that my LCS just adopted too, because I remember when, like, I think it was like Captain Marvel 18 or something came out that morning that we went in there. Luckily, we were the first ones to go in, and my girlfriend and I, we each got our copy off the shelf, but the guy right behind us grabbed the rest of the stack that was there, took every last one of them. So
yeah, I think it just depends on like how successful, not successful, maybe successful is the wrong word, but you know, just depending on how the shop is doing, right? Like, for example, if I've been there where I've called the shop and said, hey, can you put this book on hold? And then, you know, somebody either gets it for me and I end up paying them, or I go to another shop that I'm not used to and they have it and I pick it up. You know, the shop loses money, right? So there are shops that are like, hey, you know what? If you want to take all 20 copies, take them, because you don't know which customer's coming to buy what, right? Like it is one of those businesses that, you know, you lose out and you want to sell. Like comics aren't, you know, you don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always looked at comic book shops that have like tons of orders from like past weeks. Like I just went to a new shop close by. I won't mention any name. And they literally had books from like May. Like they had books from previous to like COVID, and I was like,
at that point, just put in the back issue bin.
What? Like it was crazy to me.
Yeah, that's kind of a long time to have them sitting on the new issues. Well,
but that's how successful some are and some aren't. So I think it just depends on, you know, how the shop is, right? So I mean, I hear
for sure.
Say that 1 per. You know, like I know when I took the picture of that Darth Vader one, like a lot of people were like, "Oh man, my shop was 1 per." I was like, "Oh shit." I just grabbed.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like sometimes, like okay, like for a lot of it has to do with how well you get to know your local shop too. Like for instance, my shop has the 1 per on a lot of the hot books that come out. Like Darth Vader was, you know, one of the ones that are, you know, it was a 1 per book at my local shop. But and just using that one as an example, I believe that morning I had to work or something like that, and I wasn't able to go with my girlfriend, and they allowed her to go ahead and grab 2 of them because they knew that she was also grabbing my books, you know. and that's just because they know us. So, if it's a situation like that, maybe your shop owners will kind of sometimes allow you to maybe bend that one per rule just a little bit, but
Yeah. See,
you have to
I
take
always
the time to get to know your shop and everything like that. So.
I always think of, like, me personally, like, if it is a big thing, I'll always grab 2 copies. One that I'll, like, open and kind of keep, but
Right.
like stealthily, like I'll open it kind of like, I'll read it kind of like this because I don't want to bend the spine or anything like that,
Of course,
and
of course.
I'll have one, yeah, and then I'll have one that I just put in the PC, right? So usually if it is a hot book, I'll get 2 copies. Now, if there is, say, a situation where one of my favorite characters has something, predominantly, like, I know it's going to be something big,
Like Iron Man loses a leg or something.
yeah, I was thinking more like those variants that I'm searching for and I can never find. Like came out in like 2016, right? But if I were to have a time machine, like, I definitely would pick up like 10 of those. Like, I would have no hesitation. But I do want to respect people because I do get it. Some people do work, they can't get there at the first thing. However, I always tell people, like, you have to prepare. Like, you can't, I took a picture in, I think it was that freebie came out with the virus, and I picked, you guys all, oh, man, I had like 25 copies, right? And
yeah,
I remember I posted it, and somebody had messaged me saying I was an asshole, dumb idiot that had no respect, and I needed to get a job. In his message, that's what he sent me, and then I replied.
That's harsh. Why?
Yeah, but I replied like, I'm sorry. Like, what did I do? Like, did I kill your goldfish? Did I run over your newspaper? Like, I had no idea. And this person said, no, it's people like you who grab all the copies and then people can't get them. I work a 9 to 5 and I can't get to a shop till 6. And I'm like, well, man, like, tell your shop, have a pull list, like, order it on pre. What the fuck? Like,
exactly.
Talking about.
Here's the thing. Okay, I don't want to dwell on this too much because we're gonna go off. I'm gonna go off course. But the thing is,
we already have for a long time.
The thing is, everyone at this point is pretty much savvy with FOC and all that. Maybe not so much a few years ago, but we have so much resources at our fingertips so that if you miss out, you miss out. And chances are you missed out because you yourself were specking on a book. That's my opinion. I mean, if you really truly wanted it just as a reader, like, just wait for the second print or the third print. I mean,
I mean, the information is out there. There's plenty of guys, like us or very unlike us out there that are doing shows on FOC and everything like that. There's all kinds of websites with listings and everything. Every store in the world has an exclusive for the most part of something coming out that week. Like, there's so much information out there now. At this point, like, if you're missing your issues, I mean, it's kind of your own responsibility.
We've all missed the boat on certain issues, but for me to spit that much venom to you in terms of your this and that and that, to have that much hate, clearly you had a lot invested in that book to begin with.
I mean, that's a very extreme reaction.
Face, I don't know if you'll know where this is. But Hyper, the guy was from, because I did some research, right? Like, he messaged me. When you message somebody, I can see your profile, whatever. He was from Newfoundland.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it's not like,
Isn't that like the New York of Canada?
No, see, the thing is, if I mention a state now, the state's gonna hate me. So I'm just gonna.
No, I mean, in like, okay, so like what I was meaning in relation to, like, I guess proximity, it would be like, sort of like on the area,
it's about 12. It's about
like kind of northeast Canada.
Yeah, it's about 16 hours away, I would say, from me.
Okay.
Right.
So, but it is northeast Canada. Is that correct?
It's East Coast.
It's further than my province, Quebec. So yeah, it's
gotcha. Okay.
But like, what I was trying to get at is the fact that it's not like we're going to the same store and I rob this guy of the chance to get it. Like, I'm literally 12 to 14 hours away. I go to my own shop. Like, I'm not, it's not me that, like, why are you categorizing me kind of thing? So
actually, I mean, just I don't know. That doesn't make any sense at all to me now because even more because you buying those copies. So like if you go ahead and get those from your store and then you put them online and you just put them up there to make a fucking reasonable amount of money, like you're not price gouging the shit out of it, but you're not, losing your ass on it either. You're putting them up at a reasonable price and everything. Now you've made those copies available to him.
Yeah.
That he didn't have the chance at before. So aren't you actually fucking helping him?
Yeah.
And the thing is, here's my thing. I like to think like we live in a free market. Even if he was, for the sake of argument, pricing it out of his ass, as you say, the market will dictate if they're going to buy it or not. So, at the end, it all kind of evens out. So.
Yeah, I just didn't like the comment. This is also the same guy that when I posted that last Ronin free previews, he told me that it was a waste of a book and that I wasted my time buying it because I had posted that I had 4 copies, right? Because it was a freebie and I just picked it up. And yeah, it's just funny, like full circle because now it's like one of the sought after books. As you say, right?
Wait, my question is, why does this guy keep on DMing you?
Right, like he's really on your shit. What did you do?
Have you guys become besties after this?
Listen, keep your friends close and your enemies close, or whatever the saying is, right? I don't know. I really don't know.
That's just a lot of energy being used.
Yeah. I'm one of those guys that I just laugh.
A lot of anger.
Like, okay, cool. But yeah, obviously he's checking in. Obviously he's, I don't know. He needs a hobby, I guess. I don't know.
Seriously. Anyway, back to the new comic book day.
Back to the new comic book day. So we got Monstrous Talk Stories number 1 of 2. That means it's already 50% done, people.
Are they bringing out both issues as gold foil LCSD issues? I mean, or is it just the one? How are they going to work that one?
I don't know.
Because I see it says 1 of 2. I'm just curious if maybe next week or next month the second issue comes out and it's gold foil.
No, I think it's only one that they're doing the LCSD.
Also, we skipped Invincible, and it has LCSD issue.
I mean, it doesn't show it. I'll probably try to load it up.
We got to mention it. It's Invincible.
Yeah, Invincible. It's a gold foil. I also think that this one's going to be pretty sought after if people can get their hands on it. I also think that that's going to be a book that I'll see on the second market probably midday on Wednesday, going for probably $50. I don't know.
Especially with the Amazon show coming up.
Yeah. What is the appearance going for that number 1 issue? What does that go for now?
That's like a 4-digit book.
Yeah, right? I believe it is.
That's what I checked. It was like 18 to 2,000. So I was just kind of curious.
Yeah, it's definitely
that's definitely pricey.
It just like The Walking Dead, it didn't have
Walking Dead level.
That's crazy to me, man. It's crazy.
And like both done by Robert Kirkman.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So we got Nail Biter Returns number 7. I'm skipping this one. Not part of my pickup list this week at all.
Yeah, no, it's not part of mine either, to be honest.
We have Rat Queens number 23. I don't remember ever talking about this, so I'm shocked that there's 23 issues. However, somebody might say in the chat, hey man, remember when 22 came out, you said the same thing. There's so many books sometimes that I don't remember that come out, man. Like, it's just crazy.
Newbie has a memory.
It's a series that I don't follow. I tend to not really remember it as much, but that
this
happens to be another one. Rat Queens that I have not been following, so.
We got to stop right now for a second. This comment is crazy. I have a first print of Invincible.
Whoa.
I have no idea where it is. True story.
It's almost like saying like you have $2,000 lying somewhere around your house. You just don't know where it is.
Right? You just got to search through them boxes.
Listen, I would tear the house down if I knew that book was around somewhere.
100%. Man.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of with him. Like, I do have a few books that I don't know. I guess they're just like they're pricey, and I know I have them. Not exactly sure which box they're in or whatever, but they're around somewhere.
But I mean, at least they're in one of the boxes, right? It's not a case where it's just lost.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in one of the boxes. I mean, I haven't really looked for it recently, but
I remember talking to a guy that I used to collect with. I used to go to flea markets with like years ago, and he kind of got me into the comics. This was, now again, this is like 2014, 2015. And
Right.
he was showing me these videos on comics, like these people finding like these crazy comics. So 2 stories that always stuck out to me were this one couple had just moved into their house. They were doing a reno, and in between the walls, somebody had like the first Batman, the first Mr. Freeze, the first Spider-Man, like all this shit.
I think I remember hearing about that story.
Yeah. And then the other story that sticks out is this couple moved in and they started building like a guest house in their backyard. So what they did was they took out this garden, and when they were cleaning up the garden, there was what they call
The time capsule or whatever, with the old book.
It had like, I don't know what it had, but it had like, I think the total was like I remember the price, but it was like 1.1 million at the time of like worth of comics, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I couldn't imagine hiding. You know what I mean? Like, my comics are very close to me, and I know exactly where they are. Like, if there's a fire,
I damn sure wouldn't bury my comics in the fucking yard. Like, that's not happening. Not until I'm dead.
If there's a fire in my house or I get robbed, I know that where my books are and which ones I'm taking. Like, I already have them kind of set where I'm like, I could do like a quick snag and run kind of thing.
I can't really do a snag considering the number of bucks. I'd probably have to like just kick and drag them.
We got some new people joining Hawaii. Hey, thanks, brother. Thanks for joining. Nerdy Father, another Canadian. Thank you for joining. He's out west. Okay, so we also got Scumbag number 2. We got 2 covers. I'm probably going to skip both of them.
I actually read issue 1, though. It's an interesting concept. It's definitely out there, and it's definitely not for everyone in terms of
for sure.
Yeah,
it's a very graphic book, and it doesn't hold anything back. I enjoyed the first issue. I'm gonna continue on reading it.
Yeah, I just think like this is
it is very graphic. It's not for children.
I'm not gonna push it. I know which 2 books I should invest in. I know which 2 books I should be grabbing. You know what I mean? Like it's a clear cut this week for me. I don't think I'm not going to have too many choices per se in my personal taste where I'm like, maybe I should try this one. I think I got to have a clear cut look of like what I'm going to get this week. Right. Speaking of, usually we talk Spawn and Keys just kind of pops in out of nowhere.
Right. It is about time for him to show up.
Yeah, we got Spawn 312. We got 3 covers. And I think the one that's very interesting here is Face. We've talked about it, but it is the McFarlane, the cover B, because it is the homage to that Venom Skyline one.
The Amazing Spider-Man, I think, wasn't it? 700.
I had that copy, and like bricks, I don't remember what happened to it. I think I must have sold it or something. I don't know, but I remember it because I remember messaging you right away saying like, "Oh man, what's that book?" And
right.
Yeah. So again, I think it's going to be one of those covers that's very sought after. What I mean by sought after, a lot of people are probably going to be picking it up. A lot of people are buying it. So just be on the lookout for it before you buy it on the secondary market. Go check a shop. I think they're going to have a few copies.
But hold up. Isn't there a local comic shop day variant for this also?
There is also a local comic shop day variant coming out for Spawn 312. So you got several covers. You got like the A, the B, the Skyline cover, the LCSD variant, I think, which is a foil or something like that.
Yeah, it's a foil.
And then I don't know. I think the last few they've done some kind of obviously the McFarlane's done some kind of variant on that with the black and whites. I don't know if there's a black and white coming out for this or something else. But
that's true. I don't see his name here.
Yeah,
he could be in the small print somewhere.
No, he's not on there. There's been a few people that have checked it, and he was definitely omitted from the listings. He didn't make the cut for some reason.
There is 3 covers, so
disrespectful as shit, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm assuming Keys and the people who follow Spawn might pick it up because even that cover C. I mean,
And usually when there's gunslinger spawn, I mean you see those covers tend to pop off. I don't know about this
Yeah,
one.
it's gonna be a tough week. I don't know, man. Like I kind of like it. It's not bad. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm picking up. I think I'm picking up every cover for the damn thing.
I just like C because it has almost like an anime style look to it.
Yeah, cover A just doesn't really do anything for me, to be honest with you. Like,
Well, then again, I
Oh
mean,
yeah, actually, I'm not too concerned about the A cover. I'm sure I'll get it, but that's doesn't seem to be like one of the big ones.
I think B will be the winner. Like, at the end of the week, it'll be like, okay, B was probably the winner. B was probably the one you kind of want to pick up. But yeah, Face, I know you pick up like every issue, so.
but also, with the A cover, the thing is, Matina's been doing the Spawn covers for a minute now, so it's almost like we've become desensitized to all his covers at this point, even though.
Right, because they're just so good.
But the thing is, it's just like we always expect a Matina cover it's almost like in an ironic sense, it kind of loses originality. I mean, coming from a guy, Matina, that's.
Speaking of something that we were talking about earlier, but it's Undiscovered Country number 10. We got 2 covers. Again, I'm not really fond of some of these covers, to be honest. And yes, it is a black cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they're not all winners. You don't get the best coverage, but whatever. It's it's more for the story anyway, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm on board with Undiscovered Country.
I just sometimes, especially if it's not something that I'm like very invested in, like the cover is usually the thing that's like, okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like this one, like
grab it if you're not already on board.
Yeah, in the same sentence that I was saying, cover A isn't the strongest. This is kind of more my style. I love this cover.
But this one also has a very much like an Ice Cream Man vibe to it because it's also by Andreas Sorrentino.
I was going with the Department of Truth / Purge style. I don't know. That's just kind of the feel I got.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Moving on to Dark Horse, we've got. Let's see here. We've got boom.
Man. X-Ray Robot is coming out from Dark Horse this week.
I'm trying to blank on Dark Horse. I mean, I'm guessing Stranger Things or all the Stranger Things.
Yeah, I'm sure Stranger Things will be a book that people are picking up this week. The Stranger Things fans, obviously.
And Witcher.
Like I said, X-Ray Robot number 4 is coming out this week from Dark Horse. It's the last issue of that miniseries. I've been on board with it. It's been pretty good. It's Mike Allred. Like I said, I've liked it. So.
And Face, you were also talking about X-Ray Robot, you said?
Yeah.
Both covers? I kind of like cover B.
It's been a pretty good series. It's very trippy, very out there, but definitely good.
The end of the story?
What's that?
This is the end of the story, right? 4 out of 4?
Yeah, it's the last issue.
Yeah.
At least of this series. Who knows? They could do another one. So
I like how you say it's like a funky story, and then I pull up this cover, and it's like, wow.
Right. Yeah, it's like a really interesting acid trip.
Trippy, yeah.
I automatically thought of that 70s show when they're all like high or whatever.
Yeah,
of course.
That's exactly. Yeah, so that's it for.
Well, I guess one thing just to note. I mean, we know that video game comics have been kind of getting hot lately. So just as a note, Witcher has a number 1 coming out, Fading Memories.
Oh, that's right. That is coming out this week.
Yeah. So that might be something.
2 covers, yeah. I just thought you guys passed by it. I remember saying that, and you had mentioned it before. But yeah, you're right. I'm
glad you mentioned that. I actually forgot it was coming out.
Is it safe to say that we've entered kind of, and let's not spend too much time on this because I don't want to get off topic, but I feel like video games like that's like super hot lately, and I think it's no secret to anybody. But it's like Hyper said, man. Like once there's like video games, something like that, and the comic comes out, it is. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna.
Yeah, well, back in the day, whenever they originally started getting the licenses for the video game properties and everything like that, I guess they just sort of expected that shit to sell itself. They didn't really attach the best writers or the best artists to it or anything like that, and they just put out the comic, and it would sell itself for an issue or 2, and then it wasn't really fucking interesting or good stories, and people just didn't buy it. So, they moved on. And now the comic book companies like Boom is a big one, have realized that, hey, if we put some talented writers and some talented artists on these series, they can be popular. And it's fucking working.
Yeah,
Hawaiian. Or sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. I was just gonna say, like, to Face's point, like, yeah, because like back then, people always thought of video game comics as more of a cash grab more than anything, just because, like
Right,
Face was,
exactly.
like, they're kind of banking on the title selling itself, not so much the actual content. And when you actually open it, it had a pretty bad track record. I mean, but now you have pretty prominent writers. I think like Cyberpunk had Colin Bunn on it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Pretty hot for a bit.
People that actually give a shit about the franchises too, which is really nice to see.
I will say to Hawaiian Punch's comment here, Witcher is a dope game, but the Netflix is dope too. I think I only got through like 2 episodes of the Netflix show.
I actually finished Witcher 3, and that was like one of the only RPGs I actually finished the side quests and the main quests.
Oh wow, nice.
That was actually a pretty compelling story. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
IDW, we got something that I know Face is going to be picking up. I don't know about.
Oh man, we got lots of stuff from IDW that Face is going to be picking up.
But we got.
I mean, well, not lots, but we got a few things for sure.
Yeah, we got Snake Eyes, number 3 of 6.
Yeah, the Snake Eyes Dead Game series. Absolutely, I'm picking it up. First 2 issues have been pretty good from Rob Liefeld. I don't want to give away too much, but it's definitely introducing some new characters and some new lore into the G.I. Joe universe. And there's obviously plans for that as far as expanded media in movies and everything, and we'll get more into that a little bit later. But yeah, absolutely, I'm completely on board with G.I. Joe and Snake Eyes.
Just a quick observation on that cover.
Yeah.
That showed. I noticed that Rob Liefeld is doing the cover. Is it just a coincidence that the cover goes only up to his knees, so he doesn't have to draw the feet?
I think he's been doing some stuff like that on purpose on some of these covers, and I kind of love it. Look, I'll be the first one to admit that sometimes I'll crack it at Rob Liefeld's inability to draw feet or whatever, but that man is a talented fucking artist. And yeah, he's had some that have been misses, but who hasn't? And everybody just gets on his shit because he's got a big personality and he's out there and he just says what he wants. But the dude is a fun guy, and from everyone that I've heard that's actually met him, he is an incredibly nice person. He's a really down to earth guy. Like, he's cool as hell. So
just don't mention Deadpool around him.
Right? No, he was actually. I follow his Instagram, and man, he's been killing it with the Deadpool posts, the Deadpool 3 stuff. So he's definitely very excited about it. And it's awesome to see it. He's like a fucking kid in a candy store. It's great.
Yeah. He loves it, man.
He just has passion for the shit that he does. Like, so much passion for it.
He definitely you should have it.
Exactly.
We talked about Marvel Action Chillers number 1. There was a special variant with Riri Williams. I missed out. This week we got Marvel Action Chillers number 2.
Yeah, actually I picked up the first one because my store had that variant, and so I wanted to grab it, and I read it. It was actually it wasn't bad. I'll probably pick up this next issue. So
yeah, actually, Noob, I was actually going to message you this week. I wasn't even expecting it. My store actually had the 1 in 10 also.
Seriously?
So I picked it up off the wall. I asked, it was for $18, and then I just asked him, how much do you want for it? He sold it to me for 10.
Right,
man,
there you go.
You know what? If you guys want to talk about deals, I'm not going to spoil it. And I think it was good that I worked all day, so I couldn't really like message anybody or tell anybody. But I made a purchase on a book that I needed to have, basically my collection. It's a graded book. You guys will probably see it. eBay says, and I just gave it away, eBay says it should arrive no later than December 10th. So
okay.
look out for that. But man, all day today I was like smiling, and then as soon as my mind kicked in, like, hey, you just spent X amount of dollars, I was like, ah, shit. And then it was just back to like, oh shit, but I got the book. It's in my, you know what I mean? Like it was just one of those feelings. It's like,
Right.
Yeah. So this is definitely a big boy purchase, I'm guessing.
oh, yeah.
Sounds like it. I'm very curious.
One of those purchases that I needed to have. You know, it's one of those like I can't collect books if I don't have this book. Basically,
right. One of the grails.
Yeah, this one's going in my coffin. I know I say that about a few books, but this one's going in my coffin. Like it's not going anywhere. It's never leaving the house. At my wedding, I'll probably have it as like my groomsman kind of thing. Like it's just that kind of book.
Did he mess around and buy Tales in Suspense?
Hey man, we don't know.
Or is it Iron Man 1?
But anyway, so we got Snake Eyes. We just talked about it, but there is 2 covers, and I apologize I didn't show the second cover.
There's actually probably a shit ton more covers, to be honest. Like there's been a lot of covers for this series. There's been several story exclusives and incentives.
We're probably gonna say one comment about this one.
No feet.
No feet.
I like it.
No feet. We
don't need feet. Like we don't need them. It's not that important.
No. We got Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't think a lot of people are picking up anything Sonic lately. The movie doesn't seem to have, resurrected into anything good for it.
I mean, there must be people out there picking it up. They haven't canceled the series or anything. So.
Yeah.
But then again, there's like Vampirella and like Red Sonja, like 30 books a week coming out. So
yeah, so there's definitely fans out there.
Yeah. Again, a franchise I don't know too much about, but it's Star Wars Adventures #2. There's 2 covers. I do like cover B.
For sure, I'm picking it up. It's Star Wars, so.
Yeah, I figured you guys would.
I don't like that cover though. He kind of looks like Megamind.
Megamind?
Now I'm not gonna lose that fucking image.
Because look how gigantic his forehead is.
Right. He kind of does.
He's got the long face to it, and then cover A. I mean, obviously you see the characters from the movie and things like that. So,
for sure.
But again, it's Star Wars, so I'm assuming a lot of people are just part of their religion, part of their cult. Now, a book that I think we were talking about this. 1, it's popular because it's Ninja Turtles. 2, when the Raphael one came out, we both talked about when they do all 4 of the Turtles.
It's gonna look good as a set.
Yeah.
Right. You got to have them all together. If you got one of them, you got to get the other 3. I mean, they're gonna be great together. They're awesome covers. They are reprints, but they're thick as hell. Like
that's the thing. It's a
totally
$5.99 book, but it's pretty thick for $5.99. I mean, normally a $5.99 Marvel book, it's not that much more thicker than a $3.99 Marvel book.
Right, exactly. Oh, hell, you can pay that much for a normal sized book from them sometimes if it's an event.
For sure.
So $5.99, decent price, thick as hell. It's gonna give you some good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stories, and they're great covers.
Agreed.
One of my shops actually still has a few copies of the Raphael one, which I was surprised. I didn't think that I didn't think a lot of shops were buying that one, to be honest with you.
Right.
And if were, I didn't really expect them to keep it. But this one shop I went to on Friday still had about, I think, 2 or 3 copies of the Raphael one.
My thing is unless you only like one turtle and that's it. If you're gonna get one, just get them all.
Yeah, you pretty much have to, I think.
Yeah, but again, as a set, I can just picture that on a wall.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, if I'm setting anything on the wall, I'm probably grading them. But just having those graded in the condition that, maybe a 9.6, 9.8, it's probably going to be very easy to get those conditions. Man, they would look so great in just anybody's comic office or anything, just as a display. They're going to look great.
For sure.
I can't wait for the visual one. I don't know why, but I'm on this orange cover wave right now. So.
Well, the thing is,
then get ready. It's coming. You'll see it later.
But the Raphael covers, I mean, the thing with IDW I like is like aside from Kanto, most of their covers are pretty high quality. Like I actually have the Raphael one and with me, and it's almost like it's like a semi card stock. So those are easy to
Right,
get 980.
exactly.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, mine's in really nice condition too. So
1-2 is
can't
saying
complain about it.
he's buying all of them, so that's good. Aggressively relaxing. Sonic just ended its metal virus run, which was a baby's first zombie book. It just started a news story. So
Okay, so we definitely got somebody that follows Sonic. So that's proof that there are fans out there.
I know for a fact Mr. FaceTime is picking this one up.
Yes, I am. I am very much getting into the Usagi Jimbo series, and obviously Wanderer's Road #1. It's the start of a new series for it. So
Is that a
perfectly
mini?
jump on board.
But face, is that
The first appearance for this? It is risen dramatically in, I'd say, the last 8 to 10 months.
yeah?
Are you talking about the first Usagi and Jimbo?
Albedo?
Yeah, his first appearance.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's insanely expensive.
What is that, like Albedo #2, right?
Yep.
Yeah, something crazy. But yeah, I was doing some just some work on like sell my comic shop, and then I got into like some other stuff, and then I saw it, and I was looking at kind of like the graph of everything, and yeah, in the last like 6 to 8 months, it's just been like up there, and I'm like, wow, crazy.
Yeah, and there's movement on it as far as expanded media. I believe they're looking at an animated series for it somewhere.
Yeah, on Netflix actually, I think.
Is it Netflix? Awesome.
I think that was.
To be honest, I mean, we could probably skip Dynamite because there's not really, in my opinion, unless there's something that you guys want to talk about. I mean, I know Green.
I mean, there's the #2 issue for the Dynamite event itself.
The zombie event.
So yeah, it's Dynamite's in universe zombie event. Similar to Deceased and Marvel Zombies.
Right.
Encompassing like Red Sonja and Vampirella and whatnot.
Zombies, you can sell.
Like I said, second issue of that main miniseries. I don't think they're doing tie-ins as far as like going into the regular series. So I think it is fairly self-contained. I'm picking up the event. I want to read it. Dynamite had the issue with the whole Comicsgate thing going on there for a minute. So that may have hurt some of the attention that they would have got for the release of this series and stuff. But they're kind of clawing their way back slowly but surely.
Yeah.
So
moving on to Boom, we got a few books here, but we got Angel and Spike #16, Buffy the Vampire, obviously cultural icon, Netflix show. I think it's on Netflix. A lot of people are kind of on this again. More people are buying it.
I believe there's rumors of a reboot for that also.
So not bad. I'm probably not going to pick any of these up. Excuse me. But yeah, great covers. I do really like that cover B.
Milk, no.
Looks like Angel to me, but it's just, I don't know.
Probably.
Art. I really like this colorway. I like the bottom, but yeah, again, Buffy the Vampire, anything of that stature, it's hot, and I mean, of course, anything vampire.
Yeah, I just started getting into Buffy as far as the comic book series. I used to watch it on TV. Sarah Michelle Gellar and all them. But as far as the comic, I just started getting into it because it's being published by Boom, and man, like I'm honestly like I'm really high on Boom because they've been doing amazing things with all the different properties that they have. So I figured why not give Buffy a try and check it out too. So I just started getting into it. Can't tell you a whole lot about it yet, but definitely checking it out. So
we got Dune House. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that next word, man. But
Atreides.
Okay, Dune House Atreides #2. You got 2 covers. Dune picked up for a bit. I'd say a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm still big on it. That was when obviously the #1 issue is coming out, and the movie itself is coming out eventually. But yeah, the first issue was pretty good. The covers that they have coming out for it are very good. I like all the covers that they have, for the series so far. So it's definitely got a selection on them.
I know that,
And I think there's an LCSD foil issue coming out for Dune also.
That's what I was just getting to. I know that this one was coming out. This one, I mean, it's probably the best cover of all of them, in my opinion, to be honest.
Yeah, and in the foil, it'll probably look great too. So
And it's actually by the same artist that did that Buffy cover that you liked. Oh no, actually no, it isn't. No, never mind. My bad. It's not the same guy.
Jeez. Probably something that's going to be in most people's pull list, just with how popular it is right now. Power Rangers. You got 2 foil covers, so we're going to get into foil #1.
Yeah, you got a foil LCSD issue for both series coming out, Mighty Morphin #1 and Power Rangers #1.
I was disappointed when they released the cover art for the Power Rangers foil because that was a 1 in 25, which I put an order for before. And then the fact that they made that a regular foil cover after that, it's like, damn.
We lost your image there. You're going FaceTime on us.
Oh, snap. Hold on.
Well, yeah, I guess I kind of see what you're saying. Well, see what he was saying with, being disappointed that it ends up being the same image. Yeah, I'm not really sure why they chose to do that, but it is what it is, so.
This one has, it's Peach Momoko once you see it. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
You don't even have to read, or not read. You don't have to see that it is Peach Momoko in that. Like, you can look at this cover and be like, yeah, that's Peach Momoko. Like,
yeah, it's very much in her style. I like it. She the covers that she's done for the Power Rangers, I think, have all been pretty awesome. So
this one's probably going to be one of those that's very, sought after. Like I always say, of course, Burke comes in when we're talking about Power Rangers. What's going on? Finally,
right? He timed that perfectly.
Wrong time. You always come in when we first start, and we're on Image or something. But yeah, it's kind of cool that they got that Peach Momoko one. Like I said, I think it's going to be, a lot of people are going to be on it. Again, this is a book I think, midday Wednesday is probably on the second market for maybe triple.
But the thing is, see that
possibly.
But Face, don't you think that'll kill the ratios? Cause didn't they have like a 1 in 250 Virgin for that same cover?
Yeah, they did. Man, it's hard to say. Like I don't know if it'll necessarily do much as far as the value of them goes, and taking away from it, because if like at that point, if you want the ratio, like you want it because it's that high of a ratio or whatever, you know what I mean? Like you're not really gonna care about that foil as far as that goes.
For sure.
But it does give the accessibility to people that didn't go after that ratio or want to pay fucking $100 for whatever or
exactly
plus for it. Now I know you could also get it in the 1 in 25 too with the trade dress, but this is just a little nice foil version.
Well, that's the thing that's why I was a bit disappointed, because I paid for the 1 in 25 and then I found the same cover art for a regular $5.99 price.
Yeah, I really thought I really would have liked to see him do some different covers for it, but it is what it is.
So Burke is the same cover as the 1 in 25.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So And Burke knows his Power Rangers more than anybody. Speaking of foils, I think another book that a lot of people are probably going to be picking up is the foil to Something is Killing the Children, #1.
Yeah, I mean, it's Something is Killing Children. It's everything with it is hot. So
Hyper, you again went FaceTime on us with your logo. I don't know if you're having some issues there, bud, but just let me know when you're good.
oh, he popped back in for a second. Nope, there he goes, and in and out.
Major.
Yeah, there's some kind of power surge issue. Hold on.
Nah, no worries, no worries. You just pull, just pull a ghost like I do.
Hold up.
Burke is saying that last Power Rangers one that we were looking at is better than the 1 in 25 of Tommy the White Ranger that looks like a chick.
Right?
Yeah. What's it called? Yeah. So Something is Killing the Children, I think, is going to be very hot as well. I mean, we all know how.
Yeah, everything Something is Killing Children is hot. So. And this one, I actually love that they're doing it because it did come out a while ago, and it gives people access to a cheaper version of that #1 issue.
And again, a theme that me and Face, not necessarily the chat knows about, but me and Face have been talking about is orange covers lately. And speak of orange covers, what happens?
There it is.
10, the second print. So they're giving you another chance to get it. Orange again. So
and yeah, it's a great cover with that orange on it.
Something's Killing the Children. Last issue blew my mind.
Yeah, man, Something is Killing the Children. Man, every issue blows my mind. Like I'm really loving that series.
Something that I think
James Tynion or Tynion, however it's to be pronounced, but man, he is killing it in everything that he's writing.
It happens once you get on a roll with something and something hits. It's like put out some good stuff.
Right. I mean, Something is Killing the Children, Department of Truth, Batman. He's having one of the best runs in comics history, probably.
Oh, absolutely. Unkindness of Ravens #1 of 4, second printing, and then you have Unkindness of Ravens #3. So if you missed out on the first issue, again, you got a chance at getting #1 right here. I haven't followed this too much, but I do know a few people who are.
Yeah, I've been following it. I like it. It's been a pretty good series so far. So definitely worth a read. So very, and it leans very heavily into witchcraft and the paranormal and whatnot. So
perfect for Christmas.
Right, absolutely.
And then something that I know a few people were on. It was hot when it first came out, but We Only Find Them When They Are Dead, #2, third printing. You guys know how much I love third printings and 27th printings, but we got this one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna be picking up the additional printings of that one, but I'm definitely picking up the new printings for each issue that comes out. So it's been a good series. So
yeah, I know you read it. Yeah, so that's crazy. Now, let's get into probably the most popular comic brand of all time. Let's get into Marvel Comics. Again, it's not going to be too crazy. Again, we got another Amazing Spider-Man. We got Amazing Spider-Man #53.
Now it's 53 LR, the Last Remains issue. So I guess 53 has already actually come out. So in this week we get the additional
the Last Remains tie-in.
Right.
Another classic Spider-Man villain gets pulled into the most soul-shaking Spider-Man story ever. I got a spoiler alert for anybody. It's probably not going to be the most shocking, soul-shaking Spider-Man story ever. Just have a feeling.
It's been pretty good so far. I've enjoyed it more than I've enjoyed any other part of the current run. No offense to anybody involved with it or anything like that, but that's just my personal opinion. I haven't been, I just haven't been enjoying Amazing Spider-Man as much as I have in the past. Now, up until recently, the Last Remain storyline has picked it up for me. So
I think
hopefully it continues that way.
I think you said that around like issue 50. If I
Yeah, that's when Last Remains. That's when it started, and yeah, that's when it started picking up. And um, yeah, like I said, yeah, I mean, they kind of it looks like they're almost starting to drag the Last Remains storyline out a little bit too.
see how much they can get, kind of thing.
With the tie-ins or not tie-ins, but with the LR issues, but whatever. I guess that's Spider-Man, so it's got to be a little grandiose, a little bit bigger, and I get that. Just man, they just gotta just not go too far with it and drag it out too long.
Yeah.
So we got 55 coming up soon. So
Bricks is saying that the 1 in 10 for this will be very hot. Well, will be hot.
yeah. Oh yeah, I think it's another Miles cover. That looks great if I remember right. Definitely gonna be hot.
If 2020 had a comic face to it, it would probably be Miles Morales.
Yeah, Miles was huge this year.
Yeah.
And deservedly so.
Yeah, 100%. Something else that I think a few people will be picking up, not as hot, but the Champions #1 second printing. So if you missed out, there again, you have Miss Marvel right there. So it could be something special.
Yeah, that's a nice cover if you're a fan of Miss Marvel for sure. And the Champion story's been interesting. So
yeah, a lot of people are on that Champions.
I mean that's pretty much one that you're gonna pick up it pretty much just if you missed out on the first print or you're a fan of Miss Marvel and like the cover because there's no real other reason other than that to pick it up. There's no first appearances or anything that's gonna be.
Is there a lot of people that are Miss Marvel fans though? Like even Camila.
Yeah, I mean for sure she should have a lot of fans. She's a dope character.
I mean, hey, she's gonna be played by a Canadian, so like I should be on that train. But for whatever reason, I'm like, I saw some leaked photos of like the movie set and things like that.
Right.
It just kind of looks corny. I don't know. But again, it's I don't know.
Well, the leaked photos always kind of look a little fucky, but yeah. That's because you never know what's going on with it at the time. Like they may be taking that shit while, they're not even actually filming or something like that. So
it's funny because like anytime there's like a leaked photo and like people don't like it, people are like, oh, it's probably a dream or like a flashback. Like it's just funny to me how like those are the two go-to things with it. It's like, oh no, it's probably a dream. Like
yeah, like you're like yeah. So it's weird. I don't worry about any of that shit. I'll be when Miss Marvel comes out on Disney Plus or whatever, I'll definitely be checking it out.
Yeah. Oh, same. The set photos looks like she was wearing a fancy. Yeah, that's what it. Yes.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe they're just gonna CGI over that shit or something. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe that's just how she's starting it out. She sewed that shit together Spider-Man style.
Like for those of you who haven't seen it, Bricks, it looks like you have it almost. For me, for like a split second, I thought, okay, maybe it's even like a Halloween costume where they're dressing up like
right, because they are doing that in Scarlet Witch too. So maybe they're doing some similarities in the timeline or something like that.
So something like that. I thought of. I'm not gonna say it's like a flashback or anything like that. It's just too obvious, but it's gonna be interesting. I'm obviously gonna watch it. But yeah, I'm not setting my hopes up too high on that series.
I think it's gonna be decent. I'm hoping it's gonna be decent. I'll put it that way. I'm hoping.
So we got Daredevil 24, and before we go on, welcome back, Mr. Hyper.
Yeah, sorry guys. I think my USB power surge kind of crapped out, so I'm actually just using the default webcam on my laptop. So quality just went down a bit. So I gotta figure that out after.
Sometimes there's technical difficulties. You just do what you can. We're good.
Exactly.
So we got Daredevil 24. Yeah, 24.
Yeah, and man, I don't know. It looks like they're gonna put fucking Daredevil in prison again. I'm really not wanting to see that again, but whatever. I guess that's what we're gonna do.
I mean, if you've seen the previews magazine, and you've seen the cover art for the next few issues, it seems like that's what it's leaning towards.
Yeah, it really does. I kind of, I don't know. We've done that already though, so I don't want to see Daredevil in prison again. But
But see,
Zdarsky's been writing a really good run, so
but see,
I'm
this
still
is my
gonna give it.
argument also with like characters like Batman, and also like when you have like characters that have like 50 plus years of history, how many times can you really think of really original storylines? You know what I mean? It gets to a
Right.
point where you're gonna have to start rehashing, stuff that's already been done before.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, I agree. It's just man, yeah, I don't know. Just one that
Honestly,
I'm not really interested in seeing
Yeah,
Daredevil in prison, but
yeah, it's yeah, it is tough though. I mean, to get behind something that you've already that you kind of already seen that plot line before.
yeah, I mean, I've been on board with the rest of the run, and
Mhm.
I'll stay on board with it because Zdarsky's, you know, like I said, he's killing it,
Yeah.
and it'll probably be really great in the end. But that's where I stood initially. It's like, oh, okay, we're going to prison again, so all right.
Mhm.
oh, this again. I will say I don't collect Doctor Doom. I wish I had Fantastic Four #5, which is a tongue twister to say, but this Doctor Doom cover is dope.
They're actually canceling that series pretty soon. They announced that that series is coming to an end.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what issue, but it's apparently it's not long for this world.
Hmm.
Yeah, that doesn't really surprise me. Cantwell took over writing on the Iron Man series, so you know
But
he's
the
probably
thing
going to
is,
get into
Really
other
do
stuff too. So.
Doctor Doom series anyway, though, man. Like it's I don't know.
Yeah,
but this,
I figured it more for a mini series whenever it initially came out, and
Yeah,
then I heard that it was an ongoing, and I was like, oh wow, but
but here's
you
the
got
thing though. That series actually won an Eisner for I think what best writing. I think.
yeah, it's actually been pretty decent. Like it's not been bad or anything like that for sure. I thought
Mhm.
it's been very good, and like you said, some of the covers have been really good for it too.
Yeah.
Like I like both covers this week, the Phoenix variant and the main.
Mm.
speaking of something that I know you guys are probably picking up because it's X of Swords related, but we got Excalibur
Absolutely.
13, second printing, and then you have Excalibur #15.
I'm still not sure how they're getting to all these late printings for all these X titles. I mean,
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I guess the initial printings, sold out at the distributor level or whatever, so they went ahead and ordered extras.
I
I don't,
suppose, yeah.
yeah, I don't know how many of them they're gonna sell, but
You also have Excalibur #15 that comes out this week too. So
Hmm.
you got a lot of X.
yeah, I think you actually have. No, X of Swords Destruction's also coming out this week, so we're pretty much wrapping up that uh, X of Swords series, and like I said, I said last week what my expectations are for it. In the end of the series, you're going to see the return of Sword somehow, and I believe Apocalypse is going to be taken off the table in a way that's temporary. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be a permanent thing. It just feels like they're not really like they've been working with Apocalypse and centering a lot of stuff around him.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's time to maybe go away from that a little bit and discover the rest of what they're going to do with the mutants and whatnot.
I always butcher. Whew, excuse me.
Oh, I know which title you're gonna. I already saw the title, so I know which one you're.
Yeah, I always butcher this one. So
Interesting.
yeah, you guys want to take the lead on this one?
Is it the
Are you
Fantastic
talking, are you
Four?
talking about Maestro?
No, not Fantastic Four. Antheseus. Antitheus.
Oh, I thought that's
Antithesis?
the one that you were going for.
Oh no! I always butcher because again, I'm Latin American. It's always Spanish up here, but it comes out English.
Yeah.
Maestro.
Maestro?
Maestro?
I always butcher the guy's name, man.
Oh, oh.
We got 4 out of 5, so it's coming. It's coming to an end here. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, it's not though because apparently right afterwards they're starting another Maestro miniseries called War
Seriously?
and Pact. Yeah, they are. So
Uh,
more of the backstory for Maestro.
this series must have sold well then.
Yeah, it's been I've liked it. It's been pretty good so far.
Okay.
Like I'm not gonna say it's anything like you know, it's not.
It's a typical Marvel miniseries then.
Yeah, right, exactly,
Okay.
exactly. Definitely, I've liked it, but it's not been anything groundbreaking or.
Mm-hmm.
We also got some Shang-Chi coming. I really like that cover B, that yellow cover, to be honest with you.
The Phoenix variant. Yeah.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
like that one. I don't think I'm gonna see enough of these in my shop, to be honest with you, because I just don't know how many people ordered them or anything like that.
I don't think it's
But
a series that a lot of shops are ordering heavy on after issue one.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's been ordered very heavily. I think, and one of the things that would have helped it is the original movie schedule. I think originally Shang-Chi was probably scheduled to come out sometime around when this series
you
was
remember
coming out.
how that book was? I mean, I know for some people it might be like out of their realm, and that's fine. Everybody works differently. Everyone makes different money and things like that. What's affordable and what's cheap is different for everybody else. But I mean, where that book was, say, I wouldn't say two. I'd say maybe in the spring to where it is now. Like, I don't know. I think I saw one very high grade, and I think it was still going for like $300-400, which kind of shocked me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think because of all the because Moon Knight, you're starting to get some rumors about at least casting and all. I mean, Shang-Chi already got casting confirmation, but I think because it hasn't been in the spotlight for a long time, it's one of those things where collectors have a very short-term memory, so they're on
Right.
to something else. And once Shang-Chi news hits up again, I'm sure those books will climb back up in price.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. Like, I don't know. I was
Well,
having
though, that is a very that does seem to be like a very common thing, in that people say that, collectors tend to have short-term memory, but
Mhm.
I also feel like that's kind of it's not really so much collector's fault. Like it's more I like, because these publishers are putting out fucking new books every week, so we have to have these short-term memories.
You know what? I should rephrase that. I not so much collectors. I'm gonna say speculators, because I think when you use the word collectors, I think some people like, oh wait, they might take offense, but more so on the speculative side.
Right?
I think a lot of people get, especially now with like this COVID thing, and a lot of people fail to realize, like, a lot of people, maybe for you, you're back to work and you're back to your normal routine, whatever that may be. But there is
Mhm.
still a lot of people who aren't working, who are at home. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
there's a lot of buzz on what's next. I mean, I think it happens in everything, not just comics. I mean, you see it in sneakers, you see it in video games,
Hmm.
things like that. Everybody wants to be the first one on what's next, and
Oh yeah.
that's just what happens. The buzz, people start blogs and this and rumors and blah blah blah, and then it just gets carried away. It's just what
Yeah,
happens,
absolutely.
right?
Mhm.
Especially now with like if you look back, like when COVID first hit, March through May, like look at all the rumors and look at all the books that like spiked because rumors and speculation. It's like, okay, well, if I would have listened to so many of those, like I would have books that are like not worthless, but would have lost a lot of money on.
Yeah, I mean,
Right, right.
I mean, in my case, I took a definite L on some of those store exclusives,
Oh,
which
yeah,
which I generally don't even buy that. But for some reason, I like you said, maybe it's one of those situations where new comics weren't coming out. So it's almost like you need to fill that void with something else, and then you buy things that you shouldn't.
yeah, and I think
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I remember me and Face had that dilemma. Face would message me and be like, "Hey man, this one's coming out," and I'm like, "Oh, what do I do?" But it happens, man.
Yeah, because I mean, you look at these store exclusives, and it's like, man, that fucking cover is so like it's just a great cover. But
But
then at the
also,
same time, like in the end, yeah, it's just you're paying $20 for a $20 book. So
but the thing is, because I think what gets what people trap what traps people, including myself, with store exclusives, you see that there's pre-sales of like $30 store exclusive going for like $200. But the thing is, unless you get them on the pre-sale, you'll notice that few weeks out, those prices tank right back down.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's very few of them that with the store exclusives that you see them, maintain those high prices. There are
Yeah.
some that do. Don't, there definitely are, but a lot of them, yeah, like you said, they end up a few weeks later coming back
I
down.
mean, like this one.
Oh yeah. Didn't you show that like?
That one I do not see coming back down at all.
No, no.
That is
So
not coming back down. And the number 2 issue by Aaron Bartlett is going to be the same thing. So I hope you got in on that one also.
I didn't because you know why?
Oh
Because
man,
that was
it's great.
yesterday,
It's a
right?
good cover too. Yeah, I
That
believe
was
so.
yesterday. I heard people that they put it in their cart and it was already sold out. And my thing is, I know that if I miss out on cover 2 and let's say I get cover 3, I'm going to be chasing that cover 2. So I'm like, I made peace with myself. I'm good with issue
So
1.
you're just stopping with one.
I'm
Yeah.
stopping with 1. I'm taking my W and I'm running this out.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, man. That makes sense, definitely.
Yeah.
Probably the best way to do it, the safest way to do it.
Yeah, man. Because
oh, sorry. Go ahead, Hyper. Sorry.
no, I'm just gonna say, like, had I gotten issue 2, now I'm pretty much at a pattern where okay, now I have to get 3, 4, and 5. And say I
But see,
miss.
I did think that I did believe that I read somewhere that that particular company, if you got the first issue, like you had the advantage
No,
to.
no.
Is that not
What
true?
what happened? No, you had to have bought the previous exclusive, which was a Something Is Killing the Children exclusive.
Oh, okay.
Problem is that exclusive is sold out on the website, and they only made that announcement like for that like when it was already sold out. So even if you wanted to, you couldn't even get in on it at that point.
Oh, well, fuck. I wish I would have known that because I got the something that's killing children.
What I was just gonna say was, for all you Star Wars fans, there is Dr. Alfra number 6.
Whoa, Dr. Afra.
Afra.
There we go.
we
There's
just kill Star Wars names. That's what we do on this show. We just butcher
that
Star Wars names. And it's
in this
newbie comic.
Star Trek again. That was just embarrassing. But we got this book. This one I'm going to have some reservations on. I know I have 2 copies. I think number 3 and number 4, or number 2 and number 3. I can't remember. But anyway, I know Keys is not on board with this one because he kind of laughed when I said I'd pick him up.
I'll be honest. It probably has been my least favorite of the current Star Wars series. I haven't hated it or anything, but yeah, it's probably my least favorite of the Star Wars series that are going on right now.
So much going on, so many going on. I mean, you're bound to hit one that like you don't like or is not as popular, right?
Right. I mean, it's just
how it works.
It's what it is.
I do find it kind of cool this week in the True Believers, King in Black, but we have, we have an Iron Man one, obviously. We have that Fantastic Four issue that I talked about on the Spec show. I think
shit tons of True Believers this week.
Yeah, and then you have the Black Cat. I think
she's getting a reboot as of King in Black.
Speaking of Black Cat, and I know we still got to talk about her DC before we talk Spec, but I think Black Cat is one of those keys that is so undervalued. And I know some people are like, man, what are you talking about? A 9.8 is like expensive. Yeah, but anything under 9.8 is still relatively affordable for like a character who would have a lot of appeal, a lot of marketability, a lot going forward.
Yeah, that's the thing. She hasn't even hit the mainstream media yet. Like they haven't really used her in a movie or anything. And honestly, I would expect them to do that at some point because she's obviously a natural for a spinoff into her own shit.
I expect her to show up in the Morbius movie. I just do. I don't know.
I guess it's possible.
I just got this gut feel, especially if they're doing a crossover thing. I just have this gut feel.
Did they cast someone that fits that role?
No, but I don't know.
Well, that might be kind of important.
You can literally see any attractive woman who's blonde, or
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Did they cast someone in that role that they haven't announced who it is? So maybe that's possible.
We also got finishing off here with Marvel. We got X of Swords Destruction #1. You got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 covers. I think
There's
a
a
lot of
local
people.
comic shop day.
Yeah. I think we're gonna get a lot of people going after the Peach Momoko one, of course.
Yeah, I mean, Peach Momoko obviously is big this year, so.
Yeah. So anything Peach is going to be hot. So I think that's the one that a lot of people are going for. And then you also have an X-Men Peach Momoko as well variant. This one's just
And
kind of,
I love that cover.
yeah, it's kind of
I
fun.
do. I like it.
There's a lot here. There's
a lot going on, yeah.
Right. I don't know. I just like it. It's just weird and out there. It's just different,
But usually
that's usually what sells.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
but yeah.
But I wouldn't sleep on the local comic shop day variant either. The Exoswords.
no, absolutely not. Magic is definitely hot. Like everybody's into Magic, I think. So.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, because she's an awesome figure.
We are gonna go into some DC, which I know FaceTime loves talking about because.
For sure, got to give DC some love.
Oh, 100%. Just gonna find.
Yeah, you said that with so much enthusiasm.
Yeah, it is what it is. I respect it.
Don't worry, we'll make you a DC guy in the end. You'll like DC too.
I like Green Lantern.
That's DC.
Like Green Lantern.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick a character,
nobody likes fucking Green Lantern.
That's what happens. Man.
Actually, you know what, Face? I do know a friend who actually is a hardcore Green Lantern fan. But
no, I'm
they are
kidding. Green Lantern definitely has fans, but you saw what Ryan Reynolds did to him.
We don't talk about that.
He was disappointed with that movie. I mean, I think as a fan, he was more so hurt than, like, let's say someone like me and you, because we don't have it that much investment.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Reynolds seems like the type that he's very heavily invested in the character that he plays, especially Deadpool. So
yes, run the comic.
He lives that life.
Yeah, I think it's easy for Ryan Reynolds to play his role because it's literally what he plays in his everyday life.
Right, like it's just him. And I was just kidding about Green Lantern. I'm a Green Lantern fan too, so.
Just remember, Showcase 22. It's almost a $5,000 book.
Oh yeah.
So.
And there's a lot of, it sounds like at least there's a lot of big plans for Green Lantern over there at DC. Like there's a lot of talk of HBO Max shows and.
You had that Jessica Cruz stuff.
Yeah.
In July, there was a lot of talk about that. Not Killmonger.
Kilowog.
Yeah, Kilowog.
That book was hot for, I'd say, 3 weeks solid. People were like chasing that book like crazy.
I would totally read a fucking Kilowog series.
I picked up his first appearance for like cover price during the COVID period at my LCS.
Whew.
Wow, that's awesome. I love Kilowog. He's great.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's get started on DC here. So we got Detective Comics 1031.
Yeah, I mean, it's Batman, so obviously it's just automatically on the fucking pull list.
This is still continuing the mirror storyline, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. They may have wrapped it up before then. I don't know, but it's tech, so gonna pick it up.
Batman Robin, no more. Ooh, they're trying to sell it right.
Oh, okay. No, it sounds like it's definitely. Yeah, that's right. Actually, it doesn't sound like it has to do with the mirror. It sounds like they've moved on from that. Maybe wraps up in 1030, and I believe this is him starting to like sort of chase down Damian, who has his Black Case book.
Oh, this is like the fallout from Teen Titans, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we got the Flash 766. I don't know if that means Burke will show up in the comments here.
Like
that he likes.
I was completely on Flash while Joshua Williamson was writing it, but since he's left, I think I picked up one issue and was like, I'm not feeling.
I think that's been the sentiment for most Flash fans. I think they're really on board with the Williamson run. Sorry.
Yeah, like his run was amazing,
I shocked.
and it's just really hard to follow up that run.
I think I shocked the comic world last week when I said I don't own anything Flash.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Which is a goddamn disappointment, son. We're gonna have to fix that.
So you guys know I'm definitely not picking this one up.
No, but you know what? I'm kind of with Newbie on this one. I think in my collection, the only Flash issues I have is when it's involved with a crossover series, like when he was in the Buttons, the Button miniseries during Batman Rebirth and all that. I've never actually collected Flash issues as a run myself either. So.
Oh man, look up some of his stuff with Reverse Flash.
Yeah, no, I mean,
stuff with Reverse Flash.
I actually have some of the trade paperbacks, just not single issues.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to offend anybody. I mean, you're picking characters, whatever. I just have a hard time with a character that his power is speed. Like, that's it. Like, it's just speed. Like, you can kill him.
Yeah, but I mean, speed, like, it gives him a lot of advantages with his powers. Like, his shit, yeah, it's just speed, but, man, it really translates into a lot of other
covers, man. Like, you look at some of the covers, like, there's the one with, like, the ape on it, and I'm like, well, why is this a cover? Like, it's him versus an ape.
I mean, Gorilla Grodd is one of his big bads, man. Like, Gorilla Grodd is fucking dope.
He has mind control.
Yeah, a hyper intelligent ape that has mind control powers. That's
again, I don't want to offend any Flash fans or anything like that. Everyone's got the character. To me, it's just I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Oh man, we got to get you on some Flash.
We'll try. Ezra Miller's not really helping the case either.
Listen, but check out the CW series. It was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I got it.
Especially the early seasons.
That out, actually. My buddy told me that that's way better.
Yeah, definitely. I loved the early seasons of Flash. The later seasons haven't been, I would say, as good in my personal opinion, but they've still been solid. They're still watchable. It's still fun.
I'll give it a shot. Again, Ezra Miller doesn't really do it for me, so we'll see. Moving on to more DC, we got Action Comics 1027.
Noob, could you just click on that cover for Action Comics? Because I just want to know if it's the artist who I think it is.
Absolutely.
Is it John Romita Jr.?
Artist, hold on. Yeah, right here.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just gonna go on a rant right now.
Here we go.
I think John Romita Jr. is probably, and I don't like to, I like to show more love than hate, but in terms of artists, I would say he's my least favorite artist, bar none. I just don't like the way especially his latest works. As of late, there's not much expression on characters' faces, and they just look like blank expressions. I'll show you a cover after the show. I can't really do that right now, but
gotcha.
Yeah.
If Lasso's in here, I know he's picking this up, but it's Wonder Woman 767.
Man, I'm picking that up too. I'm on board with the current Wonder Woman run. Like I believe it's written by Mariko. I'm probably gonna butcher her name. Mariko Tamaki. Yeah, I think is her name. But since she's come on and gotten into the Liar Liar storyline, like it hasn't been. I don't want to say it's been like the most epic Wonder Woman series or anything like that, but I very much enjoyed reading it, and her take on Wonder Woman having to work with Max Lord, man, it's been a solid run. I'm enjoying it.
And the thing is, and I'm actually breaking my usual rule, and for this series, I'm only going with cover Bs, actually.
Whoa.
Yeah, and there's absolutely every reason to do exactly that, because, I mean,
Middleton.
They've been fucking amazing. Yeah.
I was going to say, with Flash, I don't think I have one Wonder Woman in my collection either.
Well, again, you're going to need to change that. I mean, we got to turn you into a real comic book collector.
Actually, that's actually a preview for my Spec talk, but we'll come to that after.
All right, yeah, hey, we got it. All right, we got Red Hood number 51. And if you know anything about 51st issues, you know that they do not really much. So what do we expect from Red Hood number 51?
Actually, I think this one's going to be a little different. This issue sounds like it's a turning point for the Red Hood series. I'm gonna pick it up. I want to see where they're gonna go with things and what changes that they're gonna make. But yeah, like he's a new costume. It looks like you know, kind of a new attitude, new creative team on the series. So we'll check them out and see how it goes with the early issues in the run.
But actually,
Yeah, I'm definitely sad to see Constantine go, man.
But Noob, I actually kind of feel the opposite. I kind of find that usually that issue after the anniversary series is kind of the issue usually to look out for because there's usually a change up in the status quo.
Yeah.
Right, and that's exactly what it seems like that they're doing with this one too.
Yeah. I just always find I don't want you to and Face, I told you this because we were just talking about this on the last Spider-Man issue, right? Number 50. And we were both saying like it's too obvious for them to bring a new character in at 50. I think it's either
right
48, 49 or 51, 52 kind of thing. And
yeah, and that usually tends to be how they do it. They give you that fucking cameo right there or whatever.
And
well, because
no, go ahead.
No, because I was actually thinking like the series that first comes to mind is TMNT. Like you had issue 50, which was an anniversary series. Jenica's first appearance was in issue 51. Issue 100 was an anniversary series, and issue 101 is the first appearance of Lita. So
Mona Lisa.
Yeah, and so that was like one of the first series that actually popped in my head in terms of that follow-up issue following an anniversary where you know.
And you know that whole bit, that whole arc on TMNT, that the last arc, you know, the 100 issue. I mean, man, it's amazing to me how underappreciated that issue is because like it gives you like the death of Splinter, and it really seems like that's pretty much a take on this point. Like he's done. He doesn't seem to be coming back.
I think because that issue is very
clearly moved on from it.
I think because it may have been highly printed, maybe. I think that's probably why. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, definitely possible. Not sure what the print run was on that.
We've got also Justice League Dark number 28.
Yeah, this is going to be the only Constantine we're really going to have left. Hellblazer Rise and Fall is coming to an end. You know, the Constantine solo series is coming to an end. So you're going to have to get your Constantine fix with Justice League Dark.
Man, you know what? I've got some news with Justice League Dark. It's probably the only DC stuff I was following as of late, but I'll talk about that a little bit in the show. Yeah, probably near the end. I do want to highlight Bricks here. He's saying first cover appearance on Red Hood. Those are new characters on cover B.
I think I actually think I did hear that rumor too. I haven't really looked at it, but yeah, I believe I did hear that.
Man, we got a bunch of. Okay, we've got Batman Superman number 14.
Yeah, with that composite Superman on Superman Batman on the cover. I like it. I mean, I've been on. You know, Joshua Williamson is writing that series, and it's not. It's not, you know, again, these issues aren't anything that are character defining or, you know, status quo changing or anything, but it's been a solid, fun series so far that you know, kind of takes me back to like the classic Superman Batman stories, you know, when everything wasn't the fucking reality ending event.
Yeah. Batman Beyond 49. Anything to say about there? I know Batman Beyond is
Batman Beyond's coming to an end at issue 50, and this is the middle issue of the last story arc for this run. It's possible we're gonna get, you know, obviously another Batman Beyond run afterwards, but we'll see.
And speaking of Constantine, because you guys were talking about it just a few minutes ago, but we got John Constantine, Hellblazer number 12. Black cover.
Yeah, again, final issue of the series, which so we get to
So sorry, did you say the volume went up? So this is the final book in the series?
Yeah, it's the final issue of the series. Last bit of Constantine we're gonna see outside of Justice League Dark for a while. Hopefully they'll give him another series somewhere. So
No, I'm sure they will.
I like Constantine. I can't get enough Constantine.
Batman White Knight Harley Quinn has a first appearance of Starlet. Wow. Did they steal that from Marvel?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of crossovers with the names and stuff like that.
For sure.
Is that a first appearance in this number 2 issue, or was it in the number 1 issue? Actually, I have the number 1 issue. I just haven't read it yet. So
Why is I just want to know, why is DC like, I just want to be a fly on the wall where they're kind of just giving out the names of the titles, and like I want to be the head guy and be like, hey guys, like, why are we making these titles so long? I just want to see the argument that the people are like, no, man, we got to call it Dark Knight, Dark Falls, Dark Legend of the Dark Knight, Metal Dark Knight.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to keep up with these titles.
You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, even this one, Batman, White Knight presents Harley Quinn number. Why?
The acronyms end up being long.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Raider Bear said it is the number 2 issue, so that's So this is the one you'll want to pick up if you want to grab that first appearance.
Well, yeah. So there's a first appearance of Starlet.
I'm curious if A or B would have a cover appearance, or if neither. But that would be something I would.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. Why don't you pull them up there, newbie?
What's that? Sorry.
Why don't you pull them up there and see if we can check out that cover, the covers for that, and see if we can see if it looks like that new character's on either one.
Batman White Knight presents.
So let's see what it comes up. This is all that. Oh, right here. Yeah.
Yeah, where are you going? Just click on it.
Yep, you got this one right here.
Yeah.
So you got it must be like 3 characters right here plus these 2.
Do we see Starlet on it? Maybe. I don't know.
It's hard to make out.
Yeah, I don't see it there. But let's see. Hold on. Maybe there's another one, right?
Yeah, they're down at the bottom there.
So, come on. This is what
no, you went back.
So
you got to go back into it. What you do is go back into it. Once you click on it, and then scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see the other covers that you can click on and bring up.
Dark Knight. No, I think that. Yeah, I think that's it.
No. You rolled past it, bro. So go back to Batman. White Knight presents Harley Quinn, and click on it.
Okay.
Now scroll down to the bottom.
Yeah. Now you could just click on the other cover.
There you go.
Now.
Yeah, that's okay. So that'll be like I guess that's the main cover there or whatever. So
that might.
Okay, so
this person. Well, there's 2 people there.
Well, Bricks is saying that she's in the background.
Yeah. It looks like she could be in the background. So
that might be so it might be cover A then, to look out for, more so than B.
But is this technically the background? Like, she's kind of in the front.
Well, whatever. She's not the main focus. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's finish off here. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I don't think it'll be a sought after, high printed book. So I mean, if you got something, you got something.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, if it's a character that they end up crossing over into the main DC universe and it takes off, who knows? But again, if it's a villain, and villain spec is always fucking tough to begin with, and it's an alternate universe villain, so even less reason to give a shit. But
although when they did introduce Neo Joker, that did take off for quite
exactly. There's it's always a dicey call with characters like that. So
yeah,
but it's $5. Whatever.
Exactly. It's something to stick in the $100.
Nothing wrong with it. Legion of Superheroes number 11. I picked up number 6. That was the last time I picked up a book.
Yeah.
From Legion.
I've actually I think I've grabbed all of them since number 6, and been reading it. It hasn't been bad. It's a kind of a typical Bendis storytelling for the most part. not that that's a knock or anything like that. Like I said, it hasn't been bad. I've enjoyed it. I've been waiting for, I think, this issue to find out more about like Gold Lantern specifically and whatnot. So
Man, that's the only reason I picked up that number 6 was because
right, and this issue is the one that's finally supposed to look more into Gold Lantern. So we'll see.
we got
He's an interesting character. Like I like how they see it. It seems like they've combined the lantern powers in the future. So
and like I said,
interesting to find out how that all came about.
DC character, take that for whatever you want. But yeah, that's kind of one of the only reasons that I picked up that series all the way. I guess I got 1 through 6. And that's the only reason kind of why I was just building up to kind of that. I don't know. And then,
right.
I mean, you can still find it cheap. There's some people that are selling it like ridiculously, but I think
it's like a $10-15 book for the most part. I think
I saw somebody try to sell it for like $30 on eBay.
I don't think
I think that's a bit overpriced, but
yeah, plus like $18 shipping, which is ridiculous.
Once upon a time, it was at that price, but probably that was like during like the first week or so.
Yeah, when it first came out, maybe. By the way, did we skip Suicide Squad number 11?
Oh, we must have. Yeah, so Suicide Squad number 11.
Yeah, that's another one. It's another final issue. But Tom Taylor has actually come out and said that it is a final issue, but Suicide Squad isn't done. He's not done with them either. This is just they're kind of ending it right now and sort of, I guess, waiting for a reboot. So
for DC to get their stuff together.
Right, something like that. But now they did just kill off Deadshot in the series too. So
maybe they'll come out with a reboot that's like Suicide Squad presents Suicide Squad of the squad that's suicide of DC, some stupid shit like that. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we can make the name.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And finally, we have the Last God number 10. Got to be honest.
No, sir. That is not finally. First of all, fuck that Last God issue because nobody cares, and it's whatever. But the other history of the DC universe.
My bad. Yeah. Sorry.
That one is going to be a pretty big issue, I think.
The other history of the DC universe number 1.
Yeah, and that's kind of it sounds like that's going to be the start of the diving into the Milestone universe and bringing that back.
I can't even pretend that I know what that is.
And this one actually
just pick it up. It's got to do with Static Shock and all that. Just buy the damn thing.
And this one has a local comic shop day variant, the full variant also.
Yes, it does. I think there's a local comic shop day, a silver, a gold. Like there's a couple different variants.
Yeah. So you got you got that cover, and then you got your silver, and then you got your gold.
Yeah, gold is the 1 in 25.
1 in 25, yeah. That's not bad.
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely an issue if you want to pick up.
Those gold ones, I mean, 1 in 25. What did the Negans go for? So I'm assuming, if history tells us anything, that gold one will probably be a $150 book by midday Wednesday. That silver one will probably be an $80 to $100 book midday Wednesday.
But it shouldn't be the case though, because it's a ratio.
Yeah, it really shouldn't. But on the other hand, if people don't know about it, people are sleeping on the series and they wake up to it, that could pump up the price on it. But that would take a little longer too, though.
Yeah, I'm just going by I like to think that history repeats itself, especially in the comic world. So when those silver, those gold,
it definitely does.
Something like that. I just go by what happened with Negan, what happened with Firepower, what happened with.
But newbie.
Okay, so Comics Talk Weekly just said that the author of this book was just on CBS Morning News on Saturday, and I'm gonna assume that they were probably talking about the book and what they're doing. So it does sound like they're gonna have some mainstream attention onto the book. So you'll probably see a higher print run.
I will definitely pick it up.
But
right,
newbie,
exactly, it's one you want.
But newbie, to your point though, like the Negan and the Firepower, you have to remember those are 1 per store variants, whereas
that's true.
It's a different beast altogether.
Yeah, right. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, may get attention from non-comic folks. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then finally, it says the cover is coming face, but Superman, Man of Tomorrow, number 20.
Yeah, that actually the cover is not coming because that's actually, I believe, a digital comic.
Oh, okay, never mind. So then the cover is never coming, folks. So don't wait
Yeah, I don't
for it.
think we're gonna see that.
But that's actually pretty cool that Comics Talk Weekly said. I didn't.
Yeah, thank you for that information, man. I appreciate that.
I was actually on the show
yesterday, so I probably
Oh,
would have
nice.
missed it. But now that you guys kind of told me that information and face, I mean, you just kind of said you just make sure you pick it up. I'm probably going to pick it up then.
Yeah, definitely. I believe that's an issue that you'll want to have in your collection.
Definitely, if you haven't subbed to Comic Talk Weekly, definitely sub to his YouTube channel. Like his production quality, it's almost it's kind of let's just say he has a pretty legit production quality going on in his videos.
Way higher than we've got going on here with our little fucking dumpster fire.
Well, most YouTubers, but I mean, yeah,
Right.
he definitely put a lot of attention to detail on that.
That's awesome. I'm definitely gonna check it out. All right, so let's get into the spec.
Is Newbie's frozen? I can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, what happened with Newbie here?
I thought he was just concentrating on what I was saying.
He's focusing really hard.
Huh. So what is it? Just the Face and Hyper show right now?
Yeah, I guess so. So he'll Newbie will be back at some point, I imagine.
Okay, so
He'll
I
jump
guess
back in once he realizes.
I mean, since we're going into Spec Talk Face, you want to start it off then? I guess.
Sure. You know what? Yeah, let's start it off by talking about Yara Floor. This was a discussion that me and Newbie were having earlier, and I think it's relevant to put the information out there. Yara Floor is an interesting character that's coming from DC. She's going to be a new version of Wonder Woman, a future version of Wonder Woman, and there's a lot of hype behind her already. In that, she's getting her, coming out in the comics, getting her appearances there, but apparently she's also been slated to get a TV show.
Wait,
So
hold up, Face. I just got a message from Noob. Just give me 1 second.
yeah, he sent me one too, actually. So, but I figure we'll just go ahead and continue that way. We keep the viewers somewhat interested or whatever.
All right.
But yeah, so you got,
Yeah, sorry. Continue.
yeah, I think he's making his way back in or something like that. So, but yeah, you got your R4. Now the thing about the whole situation with her though is usually the peak for most of these characters tends to be when they get that mainstream media attention and they cross over and get a TV series or whatever. We're getting that right out of the gate with this character.
Yeah, I mean, Face, don't you feel it's a situation where it's like the cart's coming before the horse in this scenario?
Yeah, like that's one of the things that it kind of makes me wonder about it because like Ultimate Fallout 4, you saw the print run on that was ridiculously high and everything like that, and that book sat in practically in fucking dollar bins for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then it slowly started getting some value as Miles got more popular and everything like that. But it wasn't a book that had an insane value attached to it because the print run was so high, and it was essentially for the most part a relatively affordable book. And then of course Miles' popularity exploded, and the value on that book exploded with it. But it was due to the mainstream media crossover that Miles got.
Yeah.
And the attention that he was receiving as far as that goes.
Mm-hmm.
You get that right out of the gate with this Yara Floor character. So the peak that it can hit later when it gets that mainstream media crossover, it won't really, it's not there. You won't get that peak with it. And that's kind of the concern. Like, I'm wondering, you're going to see a high print run on it anyway because the character's already getting so much attention.
Exactly.
You know,
It's almost like the situation like where we mentioned about Undiscovered Country, where the rumors were already there before FOC of it being optioned. So then everyone is already, on the pulse for that issue. So yeah, just like you just mentioned, they already have the buzz that she's going to be getting her series. So it's not like it's going to catch anyone by surprise.
right? I agree, and that's the thing. Yeah, I don't believe that you're going to see a whole lot of. You're not going to see people caught off guard by it. There's going to be shit tons of issues out there, and I mean, essentially, unless this series comes out, they do whatever they're doing with her, and then they sort of let her fade away, and then bring her back, years later. That mainstream media bump is just you'll never have it with her.
See, the thing is, I was actually at my shop this week, and on his wall he had that Wonder Woman annual. What was it, number 4, I think?
Hmm.
Yeah, I think he priced it at this is in Canadian. I think it was like 35 or $40. I was I wasn't sure about that about picking it up or not because, like I said, I'm still not sure where I stand with this character.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting move by DC, and it actually makes sense. And I'm surprised that more companies haven't started to do, or, to do things like this earlier, because it actually puts as comic collectors, we look at the value of the comics in the aftermarket,
Mhm.
because the characters get such demand on them, and people want the back issues and everything like that.
Right.
This is a case of DC maybe taking a little more action and putting the money into their pocket, because by announcing this at the beginning, they're going to get more people to just order the initial print run of this book. I believe is what they're hoping, and just sell more copies that way rather than worrying about who, because DC could probably give no fucks about the secondary value of any comic book ever.
No. I mean, like, what's it to them if the second? Because it's not like
Right, exactly. Like it doesn't matter because they
yeah,
don't see any of that money.
exactly. Like unless like publishers found out a way about capitalizing on this, which I'm glad they didn't because I find that if publishers had a hand in the secondary market, I think that actually makes the whole thing out of whack. So I'm glad that the secondary market is still among the people, and then they're dealing with the primary stuff, like the ones that's new comic book daily releases. So, because that if they could make a profit off their secondary,
Oh,
those
you can bet they would for sure.
will definitely start pumping those books up and for no apparent reason. So I'm kind of glad that things are the way they are. But
Right.
to your point, you're right. I mean, for DC, their MO is to focus on what's coming for the here and now.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And it makes sense. Like I said, it'll increase the print run, and probably decrease the long term secondary spec value, at least in I mean, I guess in the shorter term for it. But like I said, because if they do something later, obviously it's got a chance for a little bump. But just getting it right out of the gate like that, I think it totally kills that secondary market bump that you usually get with those. So,
Yeah, and I
well,
mean, I lately with DC, it's not like I'm putting a lot of my eggs in that basket just because. I mean, how many new characters? Let's just not just DC. I'm talking DC and Marvel, where they introduce the new characters. You get that initial pop, and then the next flavor of the month comes out, and then what was new before is old, and it's almost like forgotten about. So.
yep, exactly. So okay, moving on. Another spec book I got this week. Obviously, Sweet Tooth #1 is one that I wanted to give a mention to.
Okay.
Sweet Tooth just got optioned. We're gonna see a series coming out for it. It's
Hmm.
uh, it's an interesting kind of out there series. I don't want to give too much away. It's about a boy who's part deer, has deer antlers and whatnot. Um, So and when the series came out, it had it was definitely a successful series. It's got a spin-off series going on right now.
Yeah.
and getting the option and seeing it in series is going to draw heat to the book. So if you can find probably now, for a relatively decent price, it'd be worth picking up before anything big starts hitting, before you start seeing trailers drop or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll preface by just admitting I know nothing much about Sweet Tooth. I mean, I know bits and pieces here and there, but I never actually read the series. So, uh, unfortunately, I don't really have much of an input on where that's going.
Right, I completely understand where you're at with it. I actually haven't read the main series either.
Okay.
What got me interested in it to begin with was the synopsis for the new series. It has some similarities apparently to the original series, but it's a completely different premise and setting. Which the different premise and setting was what interested me and made me want to pick up this book.
Hmm.
Uh, it's written by Jeff Lemire, who's always quality. So once I got into decided that I wanted to check out the second series and everything. That's when it was right after that there was the announcement about to get an option, and made me do some research and look into the original series and find out about it. And it's going to be one that I have to go back and add to my personal collection. So
Do we know
Yeah.
how many
You
issues
guys
the
hear me?
second series is going for? Oh, Ruby.
I actually do not right offhand.
Okay. Okay.
I'll have to look that up. But yeah,
All right.
welcome back, newbie.
Well, sort of. Welcome back.
I think.
I think it's Newbie's portrait that we're looking at, not so much
Oh
Newbie.
yeah, he's still staring intently.
Yeah, it's he's giving us the
So
blue.
it's the ghost of newbie past.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Let's okay. Another one that I wanted to mention is this is actually, we'll do two of them at the same time. We'll do Transformers. Well, we'll do two franchises, a couple different books.
Okay.
Transformers #1 from
Mhm.
Marvel, the '80s series, and then I got GI Joe: A Real American Hero #1, #21, and #22, all from the Marvel series.
Okay.
Obviously, the GI Joe #1 and Transformers #1 are the first appearance of a lot of the major characters in the franchise. GI Joe #21 has the first appearance of Storm Shadow, and it's the silent issue. And GI Joe #22 has the first appearance of Duke and Roadblock. So the
Okay.
relevance for these is that we know both of these franchises, owned by Hasbro, are getting reboots in their respective cinematic universes, which
Yeah,
apparently may also have some crossovers in the future. That
that's what
could
I
be
heard also.
very interesting.
The whole Hasbro universe. I'm hearing they're trying to.
Right.
It's like their own
Yeah,
little play.
they're trying to do their whole integrated universe. So it'll be interesting to see if they do it and if they can pull it off well. I'm definitely a fan of both Transformers and GI Joe, and their other properties too, with the Power Rangers. I
Yeah,
believe they want them to tie in too.
because Power Rangers does fall into that Hasbro umbrella, right?
Yeah, I believe so. So,
Okay, that's interesting.
and in the new movies, there's talk that we may be seeing Duke and Roadblock, who are characters that appear in GI Joe #22. Also, we know that the Snake Eyes movie is going to probably have a lot to do with Storm Shadow. So, one of the reasons why I went ahead and threw GI Joe 21 in there.
Guys, sorry about that. My internet just like kicked out. I have no idea what happened. Never had that before. So
I was
Welcome
when
back again.
when you came back, I was thinking of just staring intently at the screen just to kind of think, oh shoot, his internet's
Right?
also
Like that shit was almost creepy.
like it's kind of hard to talk when you have this dude just like staring at you, like like.
Newbie's gonna have to go back and watch the replay though, because now he doesn't know what all the shit we just talked.
so yeah. So you guys, I guess, have already started the spec talk.
Yeah, Face was dropping
Yeah,
his
yeah.
spec talk with us.
Ultra, what's going on?
So
Okay. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
continue.
yeah. Ultra's, he's went ahead and listed some of the other properties that they own. Yeah, Hasbro, I think, wants to tie in all of those properties into uh
Mm.
their collective universe, and I think it's a fucking great idea. I can't wait to see what they do with it.
Dope.
Nice, nice. Hyper, you got any spec for us this week?
Yeah. I mean, then it's kind of like not high level spec, but just stuff that I would look out for. With Wonder Woman now being announced to come on Christmas Day at HBO Max, I would start looking at some of those issues. Now, the thing is with Wonder Woman, unlike other DC characters that has like a rich history of rogues gallery, like of villains and sidekicks and all that, Wonder Woman, you don't really have many players on the table that you know of aside from like Cheetah and Maxwell Lord and some other minor characters. So with Wonder Woman, I find that with her, it's cover books that usually sell. Like during
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
like the George Perez run, and especially during I think it was like 90s or 2000 when Adam Hughes was doing some of those Wonder Woman covers.
Yep.
Those I would look out for. I actually picked up a lot 2 weeks ago, so I'll just show you some of the covers that I got. Like this
Oh
is a
man, those Adam Hughes covers on Wonder Woman were
this is a
amazing.
classic Adam Hughes right here.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Whoa, Batman down, Batman down.
Yeah, this one, I mean, I think history shows us that anytime you have a superhero fighting the Nazis, that usually sells.
Right.
Yeah, so, and I think to do
It's
these,
been a successful formula for about 80 years.
Oh, I like that one.
because it's all black.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
definitely.
that's the thing. I mean, with Wonder Woman, a lot of her, sorry, the prop department, yeah, with Wonder Woman, I find that her cover books would be something I'd look out for. Like, and George Perez did a lot of good Wonder Woman covers back when he was doing that series. So be on the lookout for that. And also even Cheetah. There's not many Cheetah covers. There's that 1 in 25. Do you guys remember when DC did that Year of the Villain
Yeah,
one shot?
yeah,
There's an
yeah.
Art Germ cover of Cheetah that's 1 in 25.
I remember that. That shit was great.
Yeah, that one right here.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's fucking great cover, man. He killed it with that. I know I have that somewhere too.
It's still relatively cheap, but I would grab that also because you know that if that movie does very well, and let's say Cheetah becomes a very popular character, people are going to be looking for covers that has Cheetah as, like front and center. And Ultra is mentioning Wonder Woman 173. You know what? I think I have 173.
Is that
But
one with the armor?
yeah, you know what? When Newbie
Yep.
does his spec doc, I'll pull up 173. But yeah, that's my spec on the Wonder Woman side, and I would probably try to hunt those before the movie comes out because, as we've known, if the movie's a bust, I mean it's a bust. But I mean, let's say the movie takes off, and I believe it will because if it's anything like the first one, I think it'll just play off of the first one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with the team behind it. So and plus with everyone specking on other things like Moon Knight and everything else, I kind of find that despite Wonder Woman having an imminent release date, it's almost kind of still under the radar in a weird way.
Sweet. I knew. Yeah, I remember. I can't remember who was. This was like early May, June. I can't remember. Somebody put it in my ear, like, "Hey, you should probably be on the lookout for this one with that new armor."
Yeah.
And then, surely enough, I think the trailer came out like a day or two later, and kind of ruined it because as soon as that happened, the book just went.
Yeah, because the thing is, I picked up because I'm pretty sure I have that issue because I picked up the lot 160 to 162 to 188 for $40.
That's not bad. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it was like a Facebook claim at my LCS. So yeah, I jumped on that because that Adam Hughes cover itself, this one right here, this one alone, I checked.
I love that cover.
Raw is already going for like 50, $40. So that book itself pays for the entire lot.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's man,
That's
man,
good spec.
those Adam Hughes covers were great.
Yeah, that's good spec, man. Good job.
The other
Especially
one,
coming from the whole Marvel side. I mean, you guys know. I mean, I appreciate and
it's a balance. You got it.
yeah,
Well,
DC. So anytime you guys talk about DC stuff, I always take that information, and kind of store it and kind of let it sit there. But yeah,
but that was actually going to be my next spec. Since I did DC, now I'm just going to do a bit of Marvel. But for Marvel, I'm going to say mutants, but not so much. When I say mutants, I'm not talking about like the mainstream X-Men mutants, but more so the mutants that aren't getting the same play as, let's say, your traditional X-Men. Especially with the current Hickman run happening, where he's bringing a lot of players that didn't get that same spotlight in the previous X-Men run. Like, I'll give you a few examples, like Kid Omega,
Mhm.
and Quanon and all those characters.
Yeah.
Their first appearances aren't that expensive in the secondary market, and because these issues are relatively um, new, I feel like Hickman has bigger plans, for these characters. So I would definitely, and plus also with the MCU, what we've also known is we know that the mutants are coming to
yeah,
the end.
100%.
And the thing is, this is just my take. I mean, like, why would they start marketing characters that have already an established name? It's almost like, wouldn't they go for those characters that are a bit obscure and then kind of push them to that same kind of forefront? Because that just means more notoriety to those characters, right? And it means
Right.
more reach for those characters. So it's like Wolverine is already popular. You don't have to push Wolverine to us. We know he's a big deal. But like
Yeah, he
characters,
sells himself.
yeah, exactly. Characters that we don't really know, like I mentioned, Kid Omega. Kid Omega has like a big role in like the X-Force series. He's like one of the main players there. But his first
Right.
appearance is probably like $30 in the new X-Men series that happened in the early 2000s. So, and the other one would be there's that mini series called X-Men Deadly Genesis
Mhm.
Yeah,
that had Cyclops' brother Vulcan,
Vulcan. Yeah,
and also Darwin. Darwin, if you remember, he made his movie appearance in X-Men First Class, where he got killed off pretty quickly. He was a guy that
Yeah, which was a damn shame.
he was a guy that could adapt to anything, but apparently he couldn't adapt
Not that one thing.
that's
not
a
that one.
book. That's a book I hear a lot about in the sense that like people who already own it and people who already chase it
Mhm.
are always saying, "Hey, you need to have this book. Make sure you have this book. Make sure you buy this book. Make sure you keep this book." Things like that. So I don't know. I think that book is something that a lot of people should be putting their attention towards 100%.
And the thing is, that number one issue is a pretty sick homage to Giant Size X-Men 1. It's
Yeah.
just their zombie form. So
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that series is not priced higher than it already is. I mean, I think I picked up the whole 6-issue run at Fan Expo for probably $20.
Nice.
And Expo in Toronto?
Fan Expo in Toronto.
Fuck, man. Jesus. I can't
That
wait
was-
for this shit to open up, man. I'll probably see you guys more.
Yeah, man. Once it opens,
I
like,
know,
I'll
right?
be able to see you, Keys, and who knows if Face
Okay,
will.
that's actually pretty good because like you drive a long way. Like for me, it's like 40 minutes away. For you, it's
But the thing is, I make it into like usually during Fan Expo, I kind of make it as almost like a little mini vacation. So I kind of, the thing is, I don't know about, because I used to do Airbnb. I'm not sure about doing Airbnb and being Airbnb nowadays. It might not be the best course of action, especially I don't think that's going to be the norm going forward. I feel
I mean, shit, it's really no worse than getting a hotel room.
that's true. That's true.
but at least I know the hotel rooms are like cleaning and taking the sanitation pretty serious.
Do you though?
I mean, a name brand, like a big chain, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to fucking sleazy Sleeps number 8.
I forgot. Newbie don't sleep no Holiday Inn Express.
I need a good, really good.
He's fucking high class.
Yeah, man, that's some good spec work. Yeah, that Volcon book, like I said, yeah, I've heard about it. I haven't seen it in the wild yet.
Usually,
Exactly. Look what Ultra Maximus said. Take a black light in that room.
oh yeah,
Exactly.
yep. Yeah, I mean, I've seen like sets here and there, but and usually when I see the issues, they're usually like two for. You're right. I haven't really seen the issue one separately in the wild.
Yeah, come to think of it, it's not one that I can really recall coming across a whole lot of just laying around in the wild or anything like that. So,
It would be one of those books that you would find it like at a con, in like a in a set or at a back issue bin. I find.
right,
I don't.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just boxed it up and sold it as the whole set usually.
I
Yeah,
think you can still find it for about $10.
yeah. Because like I said, like those characters aren't really being talked about as much. But again, I think that's usually the best opportunity to buy into these characters, because why buy
Sure.
low and before they go up, you already got them for the lowest price you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get them when people are not talking about them, not interested in them,
That
have
that that
nothing
was
going on.
that was my whole play with Beta Ray Bill, because I bought that Walter Simonson run for like 140, which had the
Oh my God.
the three issues of the 137 to what 139, right, Face?
Yeah, exactly. That's man. That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, it was like, well, not the whole run, but it was like 30 issues. But I mean, still, it comes out to like $3 per issue.
Yeah, that's wow, man.
Yeah,
That's a hell of a deal.
but that's the thing, man. I mean,
Damn, I'm
sometimes,
jealous of that one for sure.
yeah. But unfortunately, it's my only copy, and I'm a fan of Beta Ray Bill, so I don't think I'll be selling that.
Yeah. He's coming too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
No, no, no doubt.
that's not like spec talk. I think everybody knows it.
I think at this point it's all they need is just pretty much just a casting confirmation. But I think we all know
Man,
that.
it's showing up in the next one. To be honest with you, that Thor
Uh,
love.
it's about time for Beta Ray Bill to pop in. I mean,
Hmm.
they teased it enough, and I personally want to see the character. So
I'm just curious how they're gonna gimmick that face, because we see it in the comics, but
CGI,
how is it gonna translate in live action? Because it might.
it's gonna be just pure CGI.
It's gonna be either there's only gonna be two things people take from it. It's either gonna be like spot on or it's gonna be terrible. That's it. There's
Yeah.
not gonna be an in
Yeah,
between.
well, if they just do it spot on, accurate to what he looks like in the fucking comics, they'll be all right. When they start changing shit up, that's when it gets dicey.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you break it down, you're talking about a dude with a horse face. I mean, that could go south.
Oh yeah, and Ultra Maximus, like he just said in chat that he thinks Beta Ray Bill is going to show up in Guardians of the Galaxy before Thor,
But I
and
think
that
Thor
is a very
came out
likely
first.
possibility.
Yeah.
I thought Thor came out first.
I'm not sure about the release date. Which one's first? Is it Guardians or Thor?
I don't even think Guardians has a release date, has anything like a game plan, has a script.
No,
Like,
I thought they just started, or they're getting ready to start filming on Guardians 3.
but
I think
thought
they just
they already
announced they're getting ready to start filming it.
with Thor.
But yeah, because I've been hearing more concrete like news and all that regarding Thor, but Guardians not so much. But I mean, I could be wrong.
I mean, for all we know,
Yeah,
we have
who knows?
like 6 movies filmed and ready to go, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, man, that's dope. It's actually funny that Hyper talked about. You had mentioned. You said, "Oh, a lot of people are on this Moon Knight spec." So I'm gonna be talking about Wonder Woman because my spec today is on Moon Knight.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm gonna take a crack at it. But a lot of I've been talking to a lot of people, and a lot of people are talking about certain events. Sometimes you gotta not specifically talk about a first appearance, but you gotta talk about certain events, certain meetings, things like that.
Yeah.
So I got
Right.
a few books on the Moon Knight thing. Again, I don't think they're $1,000 books. So if you stayed up this late to get $1,000 book, I mean, I don't think it's coming. Fingers crossed. But I got a few Moon Knight books here to keep an eye out for sure. Because again, the casting is there. I think when I did kind of this research, I thought about it in this way. It's a series, right? And we've had conversations, Space. I think Hyper we have. I know Keys and I have for sure. but even the chat was talking about it when we were talking about Moon Knight. The fact that it's in a series,
Mhm.
it has the ability and has the open door to open up the possibilities to seeing new characters, battles, things like
Yeah, for sure.
that. We necessarily wouldn't see it in a movie, right?
Right.
For that reason, keep that in mind when I'm talking about these books.
Mhm.
So the first one is Marvel 2-in-1 number 52. That's the first Moon Knight and Spider-Man battle.
Okay.
If he shows up in a movie afterwards, that could be a certain event that's very popular. You could probably find that book for, I think, $5 to $7.
Right.
The next one, now this one's more of a long shot. I would probably put my money more in the sense of that Spider-Man battle. But again, another battle. You got Moon Knight 13. That's the first time Moon Knight fights Daredevil. Again, another character that we could possibly see. Another book that's very cheap. Again, these are events, right? Events, first appearances.
And you know what? That one I have a lot more faith in than the Spider-Man, just because Daredevil
Yeah.
is a lot more of a street level character like Moon Knight. So I could see that for sure.
And it sounds like there's at least some possibility of
Yeah.
Marvel bringing Charlie Cox back to play Daredevil.
And the other thing that you have playing is that both Moon Knight is obviously in the series, but so is Daredevil. Where I agree with you, Hyper. Like Spider-Man is more mainstream, more movie-esque, things like that. So yeah.
Plus, he's attached to Sony, so that gives some issues there. Maybe not conflicts because they seem to work that out, with the situation they've got going on now. But it's probably just easier to just be like, okay, well, we won't do that shit with Spider-Man. We'll just use Daredevil or something like that.
Yeah.
Someone that they have full rights to.
It could happen. And again, Moon Knight has been super popular. I mean, like, think about it. Up until this point, there's never been anything Moon Knight, and that comic is still like a $4,000 or $5,000 book, right? Things are heating up with that Moon Knight number 1. Anything, Iron Man 1, Submariner 1, like all these first issues. I don't think Moon Knight number 1. I've talked about it in the past. If you're banking on Moon Knight, I would probably bank on that Moon Knight number 1 over that Marvel Spotlight 28 book.
Yeah.
Personally. If you're gonna get it, I'd probably get it. Make sure it's no less than a 9.4, 9.4, 9.6, 9.8 if I were you, because that's where the money is on the spec side, the investment side of things for sure. And then the other 2 books, along with Moon Knight, I would probably take a look at Mark Spector, Moon Knight number 15. This is the first appearance of Randall Spector, his brother.
Oh, okay.
That is a very cheap and affordable book. You could probably find it in like a 50-cent bin because a lot of people don't know that that's out there. With that said, not the next issue, but Moon Knight number 36. That's when Randall becomes Shadow Knight. Again, series. Again, every episode being almost an hour long. New adventures, bringing in new characters. I don't think it's crazy enough that we might see Randall. Now, what can Shadow Knight or that get to? Who knows? But the fact that we might see him, it's a possibility. A huge possibility.
Yeah, and I actually like that one the best as a possibility to show up in the series. Because he's just completely attached to Moon Knight, so in all likelihood, if there's anyone that you're going to see that shows up as far as the series goes, it'll probably be that one.
And Moon Knight's brother, Randall, he's got a lot of ties because there's, Randall was accused of like murdering somebody, and then there's another villain that's attached to it going after Randall and things like that. So this kind of opens up the possibility. And again, I think this only makes it possible because of the fact that it's a series. So we're not limited to just one storyline. We're open to the possibility of multiple ones, depending on how many episodes it gets, right?
Exactly.
Right off the bat, I'm thinking it's probably going to get 10. At least
be the standard number, usually.
Yeah, I would imagine they'd get at least 10.
I'm thinking 10. I think 5 is too early, especially right now with everything going on. I think that they could – I mean, I hope they don't, but I think essentially they could put out 5 episodes that are shit and people are still going to watch it. You know what I mean? Just because it's Moon Knight, just because it's new. So I think that they'll at least get 10. That gives you 10 hours, 10 different storylines. again, he's got multiple personalities, so every episode could be a new personality and a new kind of thing like that too. So that's kind of where I was thinking with the whole Moon Knight thing.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people when I was talking about Moon Knight, they were like, "Oh, what about Black Spectre and Stained Glass
Mary?
Starlight
Yeah.
or whatever her name is?" But those are too common. Like I feel like those are two baddies that you might not see until they cross over into, say, a movie if it were to get to that point. I don't think they're going to bring out those two villains right off the bat. I don't.
Yeah, because I mean, if anything, and this is something that Marvel does better than DC with their movies, they're very good at the whole slow burn in terms of character building. Whereas it feels like DC, you already get gosh, I'm drawing a blank on that. Who was the big baddie in Justice League that they just threw out?
Darkseid? Steppenwolf.
Yeah, it just felt like that was just kind of like, there's no lead up to him. Whereas
We'll just put you out there.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem with DC and the DC movie universe is that they've just rushed it too much. Or at least they've felt like they've had to play catch up to Marvel all along. And honestly, that's not the case, man. If they just slow down and just use the same exact fucking formula that Marvel used, and gave us the solo movies with a couple of the different characters, and slowly meshed them up in the end to get the team building of Justice League, their movie universe would probably be fine and people would probably be loving it. But because they felt like they had to play fucking catch up to Marvel and where they were at and rush everything to get the Justice League out there because the Avengers was out there, we've got the steaming piles of shit that we've gotten so far.
Yeah, I mean,
and not all of them have been. Like Wonder Woman was great, Aquaman was fucking awesome.
Yeah. But they're not so great when they. But see, those were self-contained stories. They don't seem to do well when it's grand scale events. It
Yeah,
feels like
exactly.
they throw too much at with the kitchen sink. Sorry. Whereas, I mean, if you think about it, Marvel, Thanos' first appearance was in the first Avengers in the end scene in 2012.
Yeah.
And I know some people might have been impatient, and then they're like, okay, when do we see Thanos? But you saw that payoff come off in Infinity War when he makes his grand debut 6 years later.
And that's why we talked about this a long time ago, Hyper, way before you joined our group here. But that's exactly how I think they're going to do Kang. Like the people that think that Kang is going into an Ant-Man 3 and that's going to be it, you're out of your goddamn mind. If you think Ant-Man...
No, for sure.
You're not going to see Kang until the end credit where he does something like Thanos, where he kind of turns around and it's just him, or he kind of opens this portal up and shows up on Earth and he's like, this is Earth. Something like that.
Well, there's also rumors now, apparently, that the Fantastic Four may debut in Ant-Man 3. So if they do that, I could see Kang being in there. But I can't. It's just hard for me to fathom that they want to sort of, I guess, waste that first appearance thing, by putting them in a movie like Ant-Man 3 rather than just giving them their own movie.
Well, also, I mean, when you think about it, Kang is supposed to be this baddie that's like the time-traveling guy that is a handful for like the Fantastic Four and the Avengers, and we're supposed to believe that Ant-Man is the guy that's going to whoop him in one movie.
Right, exactly.
That's what I mean, man. It's just crazy. Like, I remember when that news broke, people were going nuts for that book. It drove that book up, but people were talking about like, oh yeah, Ant-Man's going to take him. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Ant-Man.
Right?
He could barely take out what's it, Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, this is fucking Kang.
Like his, I don't know, anybody realistically. Like let's be real here.
Yeah,
but that's just what I think with Kang. I know a lot of people who, well, when I say a lot of people in this sense, like I know like 5 people who invested in that Avengers 8 book early on.
It's still, it's still a solid investment and everything like that. Yeah. Avengers 8 is a great book to have.
The only thing is, like, I was raised with the people that got me into comics and the people that I kind of leaned towards for information. I was always told the same thing: heroes before villains.
That's
Yeah.
generally the route. But but here's the thing though. There are exceptions because there are villains that have a sort of iconic presence. Okay, I'll give you an example.
Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1.
Well, I was going more towards X-Men Jim Lee run number 4,
Okay.
where see Omega Red is a villain, but that's a guy that I don't think will last.
Fucking newbie hates Omega Red.
No, but I'm actually with Newbie on this one because Omega Red is not a character that I would think is gonna get like a multi-film, feature.
Oh
Where,
no, definitely not.
He might not even make it halfway to whatever movie he is in.
yeah, but when you talk about villains like Thanos and Magneto, they're at like that next level tier.
Yeah.
And Doctor Doom also. So Kang, I would put him in that
Mr. Sinister.
exactly. And Mr. Sinister is definitely a book that I feel is that's been slept on, just because we haven't really seen him in anything except the early '90s X-Men animated show.
Yeah.
So.
But that's again another villain that Face. You've heard me say this. This might be on repeat for you, but that's another villain that I think will be around multiple movies, not the whole movie, but just clips, and then maybe like fourth movie, fifth movie. Hey, boom, we got him. He kind of destroys the X-Men, and then they take him out in a part 2 kind of thing, something like that.
Did you see how Comic
Stocks
has an interesting theory about how Ant-Man's going to take Kang?
Ant-Man works his way into his
aortic.
Well, have you heard about that theory where, I mean, you probably saw the meme where they said that Ant-Man is going to destroy Thanos, is go into his...
Yeah. I've seen those before.
Yeah, he gonna fly up his ass. That's what's gonna happen.
Honestly, I just think the people... I've not heated debates because it is fun at the end of the day, but people who message me because I've been very vocal about the Omega Red thing. I think the people who are investing in Omega Red, I think you're going to be very disappointed.
It depends how much you spent on it. That's my question.
Yeah, like the people that are spending like $300 on a 9.8, and you think that it's going
to that's way too much for
that. I'm sorry, you're out of your mind. Same with the people that I don't know. It's just crazy to me.
Especially that, I mean, when you put it into perspective, that '90s Jim Lee X-Men run is on record to be one of the highest printed comics in history.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how the other issues did, but #1 is one of those issues that you'll always find in LCS's bad issue bins.
Wasn't that it was like a 1 million copy print run on that shit?
There was a literal 1 million copy print run. Yeah.
I don't think I think I go to like every collection, and in the X-Men run, I always find 1 or 2 of those.
I mean, the only value in those is if you can get a 9.8. Anything less, you're pretty much because those books, a lot of them were stuffed in those back issue bins and they weren't taken care of properly. But even at a 9.8, don't expect to get a $200 book out of it. I mean,
no, but I've had conversations with people that are like, "Newbie, what are you talking about, man? Like, I got a 9.8 Omega Red, and like, it's probably gonna be a $600 to $700 book. Are you like out of your mind?"
Well, Ultra brings up a good point though. Newsstands would also be the differentiating factor with those '90s books.
Okay, but here's the thing. I was actually gonna post a picture that I found. The thing with the newsstands though is there's more and more of them the earlier you get into. You know what I mean? Like it's so like the rarity of it. Is it really that rare, or is it more of a selling tool for people who have those, right?
No, for those '90s books, it is that rare for the newsstand editions.
Yeah. Like that ASM 375, the newsstand. If you can get, actually, if you look up on
Wait, which one did you say? ASM?
ASM 375.
Spider-Man. The hologram and
wing.
Yeah.
That one, I actually tried looking up a 9.8 on eBay newsstand. Couldn't find one. I think I only found like an Australian price range. Everything was pretty much direct market, and the only newsstand I found was like a 9.4 or 9.6. So the fact that that's not even
Right.
in the sold or even in the sell to, it tells me that they're not like the high, at least the high grade copies aren't out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So
88 was 50-50, 89 direct start pull away.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely anything in the 90s, those newsstands are the way to go. But again, yeah, anything before the 90s, it's not as rare, and it's still used as an advertising feature by a lot of people on
Oh,
eBay and stuff
100%.
like that because people don't know that. They
Man,
just see newsstand and automatically think that, because it's newsstand, it's going to have that higher price value at this point.
and the other thing people got to watch out for is like Canadian variant compared to like just normal, like the U.S. I guess you could say, because Canadian, believe it or not, that's hot. Like a lot of people are collecting those Canadian variants.
Because they're not. I mean, unless
they're a little bit harder to find.
yeah, unless you're a collector in Canada, usually in the U.S. you'd have to import it, right?
Yeah, but in the last couple of months, it's been the thing. Like I think Face brought that up. I think back in July or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
We kind of had that conversation where, yeah, you were talking about Canadian variants, and yeah, it's become a thing. It's hot. A lot of people are collecting it, and yeah, I feel like a lot of people get lost in the translation of should I get newsstand? Oh, I can't buy a book unless it's newsstand. And I mean, for some cases, yeah, Carnage, Venom, those two books. I mean, it depends. Like, are you going to keep it on a wall? Are you going to keep it in your PC? Are you going to flip it? You have to. It has to differentiate on what you're doing, right? If you're going to keep a Venom, an ASM 300 in on your wall, you're going to take it to your grave. Do you really care if it's newsstand or not? Probably not. If you're looking for a flip, okay, then yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's like the same argument like when people want to decide if they want to do CGC or CBCS. If you want to flip it in the aftermarket, obviously CGC is the way to go because you get more, bang for your buck. If it's going to be in your PC, does it really matter if it's CBCS or CGC? So
now I will make that argument though that CBC, what is it?
CBCS.
Yeah, they grade harder though, right?
I've never actually gone through them. I've only done CGC, so I can't attest to that. But
I only
that is the rumor. I don't know how accurate it is. It's entirely possible. So, and it does come from like a lot of legit people saying that. So there's pretty good reason to put stock in that rumor.
Yeah, but like you said, like I've only collected CGC, but if it was a book that I could score on, and then I'm going to take to my grave, yeah, it probably wouldn't matter to me.
And the other thing is, I mean, if I had a book that's a direct edition and a newsstand, and let's say the direct edition was a better copy than the newsstand, I usually would go for the better copy version, regardless of newsstand or direct.
Right. Same here.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to. I got something coming up. I just don't want to. I don't know. I don't want it to kill my buzz, kind of thing.
All right.
Yeah, we'll talk about it once it arrives, kind of thing.
Okay. You don't want to jinx.
All right.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it. I'll obviously talk to you guys. But yeah, I was just always under the mindset that CGC was always going to be in my collection. Obviously, you guys can tell.
You're definitely dropping a lot of hints. I mean, I think obviously one clue in your purchase.
Yeah, obviously the book that I just purchased, this big book, is not CGC. So
clearly.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I might have to crack it and resubmit it.
I know what it is.
At that time, we'll see. PGX is not. No, I would never buy PGX. I would never buy a PGX.
I mean, you could use it to swat a fly with it if you want.
Yeah, I think if you have something in PGX, it's probably not the grade it says it is, like at all. So
Yeah, and I mean, again,
Yo, I got Dazzler number 1. Lasso.
just admitted he bought that. You guys will see. Like I said, December 10th. It should be here before December 10th.
wait, hold up. While you guys are talking, I'm just gonna bring out that book that Ultra was talking about before.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, man. While we do this, Face, do you have anything coming up on your channel, sir? Any videos you were dropping?
Yes, I do. I got a couple character spotlight videos that are going to be coming out, and I got one that I'm going to be putting together with Mr. Key Issues soon, I believe.
Ooh, yeah, he was talking about that. And you also just passed a milestone on your Instagram, correct?
I did. I hit 500 subscribers and had the giveaway on there. Gave away a couple issues of crossover, the 1 in 100. I forget which ones they were, but there was like three. There was like 3 issues. Different incentive variant covers that I gave away, and of course the lucky winner was from Australia. So great.
Yo, that trap man. Oh man, that shipping right there.
Hey, we like to be friendly to international.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Hyper. Let's see the book, brother. Yes, that is.
Yeah, that's a great cover too.
Trying to get the reflection off, but yeah, that's the book.
Right.
Yeah, that is the book.
Yeah, and that's a killer issue.
Yeah, and I'm thinking it's probably gonna go up, man. Honestly, it's quieted down since the trailer, obviously. So if you have it now, I mean, people just have to be more intelligent and educated on when to buy a book, when it's down, right?
Right.
Not when I don't know. I don't want to say.
It's very easy to say that. It's much harder to do it, especially in the scenario or the situation at the time, because you got every fucking internet source out there talking about how hot this book is at the time, and making you feel like it's something that you absolutely have to grab right then and right there.
Case in point, Yarn Man number 1.
Who?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was like $1 book, and then it became like a joke, and then it was like a $25 book.
That's like
that was fucking Darkhawk, and look at it now.
Oh fuck yeah.
That's like Condiment. Was it Condiment Man or Condiment King?
Yeah. Condiment King. He's his favorite.
Hyper, what do you got on your show, brother? You got some stuff happening on your channel, right?
Oh well, actually, my channel isn't up and running yet.
Or your Instagram. Sorry, your Instagram.
Yeah. So my Instagram. So yeah. So just like Face, I hit a milestone also. So I just surpassed 1,000 followers a few weeks ago. So I'm currently doing a giveaway which I launched yesterday, and it's running till December 5th. So in 2 weeks. So basically, the prizes that I'm giving out, it's the Venom issues 25 to 30, the whole Venom Beyond arc with the free comic book day issue, and I'm also partnering. Nice. I'm also partnering up with a gaming store to give out a free copy of Dragon Ball Z, the video game on PS4, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So, now the thing is, I'm actually learning from Face's mistake, and in this in this contest, I'm restricting it only to Canadian and U.S. residents, but you have to be in the mainland. So unfortunately, people in Puerto Rico, Alaska, Hawaii, sorry, you guys are out of luck.
You guys are fucking beat because shipping is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's already going to be pretty pricey just to ship that just within mainland U.S., and especially these days. So yeah, going offshore is going to be even more expensive. So
yeah. Yeah, it gets out there. I just received in a book from somebody, and he was from Hawaii. It's actually my next video coming out. I just finished editing it. It's a short one, but yeah, he's from Hawaii, and when we were talking about the shipping and all that, I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
Wait, he paid for shipping, or you paid for shipping?
He paid for the whole thing.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, it was an
That's a damn
AOK.
nice guy.
So I basically owe this guy like my life.
Damn.
It is a book. It is a book that I've been chasing and following for a long time. It's hard to find. One close to my heart, my comic heart, I guess you could say.
Shit, I know what that one is too now.
Yeah. Oh, well, I took a picture. I gave you like the early.
Oh, you did? Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking. Yeah, it is the book that I was thinking anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, and actually, I don't have. I mean, I have that coming up on my channel, but I also want to put this out there because I have messaged a few people. I'm not looking for a freebie. So when I say this, don't take it like that. I'm terrible at getting gifts, but I am looking for an Invincible Iron Man 3 1 in 25 variant Anka, the Anka variant. Okay, so if anybody comes across that book, please let me know. If you know anybody that's selling it, please let me know. That's another book that's very close to my heart. It's very hard to locate. It's a ghost book, but it's.
Let me see if I can find a picture of that.
I can find a picture for it. I just don't want to bring up the eBay for it because there's
it's a 1 in 25.
Yeah, let me see if I can bring it up. Invincible 3 1 in 25. Okay.
Damn, Lasso had to pay $65 shipping on a fucking omnibus. Oh my god, that's crazy.
Okay, I see. Is it?
All right, so this is it right here. Yeah. So I was gonna share this.
Okay, yeah.
This is it right here. So if anybody comes across this book, this one right here, just let me know. I'm looking for it. So if you guys come across it, let me know. There isn't any variants for it. That's it. Or any different prints or whatever. Like, that's it. So if you guys come across it, let me know.
So wait, what about the weren't you looking for the Decal variant also?
Yes, I was. But let's not ruin anything.
Oh, okay. All right. My bad.
Let's work one book at a time.
All right.
But yeah, if anybody finds this book, let me know. Contact me. As long as the price is reasonable, again, we can talk. But yeah, that was somebody messaged me and they were like, "Yeah, like $400 all in with shipping," and I was like, "Are you out of your mind? Like $400?"
No.
Yeah. So I mean, if you do have the book and you want it for $400, don't message me because I probably won't pay $400.
Wait, was it slabbed or was it raw?
This one was raw.
And he was asking for 400. Wow.
Plus shipping, plus all the jazz, plus telling me that he only ships certain way, so it's got to be that high, and tracking and blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah.
Hey, newbie, before we get out of here, we're talking about something that we were gonna mention for someone. Man, I can't remember what it was. There was some kind of a charity thing going on. Somebody messaged us about.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, I was just looking for it. I forget where the message came through at, but I wanted to make sure that we did get that mentioned.
I think it was Keys.
I thought it was too, and I was just scrolling back and I didn't see it, so that's why I figured I'd ask you. Maybe you could find it to give a shout out to whoever that actually is.
I hate scrolling up. People are always like,
right?
Scroll up, and it's like, dude, we've been talking for like 6 years. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so St. Jude and the Children's Hospital for Kids before Christmas would love for you, FaceTime or newbie, to blast it on YouTube, brother. So it's ZM Comics is trying to get donations for the St. Jude Hospital and Children's Hospital for Christmas. So I just want to give a shout out to them. Obviously, it's Christmas time. A lot of families don't have enough. So if you have anything you guys are willing to do, they would appreciate it. So message ZM or ZM, depending on where you are, Z/ZM_comics. You don't get anything for dropping our names. It's just a good cause.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they messaged us about what was going on, and as far as getting it out there, what they're doing and everything like that. And it's a great cause, and we're behind it. I'm sure I'm going to donate to it. So
yeah, and
definitely
especially
want to put it out there.
how crazy this year has been. I think a lot of people can spare a few bucks for people more unfortunate, people who've lost their
For
jobs.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, just keep that in your mind. I'm not forcing anybody to, so don't feel like that. I think it is a good cause. So do what you will with it. But with that said, this is our show for today. We will be on Tuesday. I'm hoping you guys come out. I'm hoping the investors come out. I'm hoping the people that want to talk spec, big books, investments, long-term spec come out, because we got a good show. We're going to be talking about investment books to buy right now that hold value or make you money. So be on the lookout for that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we did it for 8:30 on Tuesday. So just be on the lookout for that. Hyper, myself, FaceTime, Keys. We might have another guest.
Keys is coming on.
I'm pretty sure Keys is. We're going 8:30. His curfew is like 8:45, so we might have for about 15 minutes. So
I only have 15 minutes to show him the Death Vader books then.
yeah. So yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday. But as always, I want to thank everybody for joining. Like always, make sure, if you haven't already, go sub my man FaceTime. Go sub my man Hyper. Follow them on Instagram. Actually,
I forgot to mention
Hyper, because Hyper doesn't have a YouTube channel yet. But make sure you guys go follow each other. And we'll talk Tuesday. And we'll see you then, guys. Again, thank you for the support. And thank you for everybody not bringing up the fact that the Eagles lost to the Browns.
All right, I don't follow football, so you're good.
Later, guys.
Peace.